Well, we already talked before you.
Oh, when did you guys jump on the call?
While you were eating dinner.
Yeah, I mean, we were on for a little bit. I don't know that we were on for long. Sam was on for just a little bit.
Sam was on for a little bit, and then he had to go.
So this is a new one. Do you mind if I read these responses to you?
No,
Okay.
please do. I want to hear this.
So this, I mean, it's a long chain, so I'm just going to take excerpts. But
give us the TLDR.
I think we were talking specifically here about Eric Gardner, and I was saying, you know, he was suspected of selling cigarettes illegally, blah, blah, blah. He was put in an illegal chokehold and eventually killed. And then she was like, but there was a criminal activity of breaking the law, or breaking of the law was involved. Otherwise, the person wouldn't even be dealing with police. And I said, ha ha ha, how I'm naive to think police officers only harass those that break the law. And she was like, oh, because they have better things to do. They're not a fraternity, you know. And then this numbnut, this guy, said, Cynthia, have you personally ever been harassed by police? And I said, as someone who is not of a race that has been historically targeted, it is not appropriate to generalize, just like it is not appropriate for someone who is extremely wealthy to generalize their life experience with middle-class people, same with the middle class and the lower class. It would be more telling.
Sorry to interrupt. Emily, are you catching most of this? Does she sound low to you?
I mean, her volume sounds low, but I can still hear her.
Yeah, I mean, this is being recorded, so that's is there a way you can turn up your volume?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're at max volume? That's strange, because we could normally hear you well.
There's background noise, I think.
I do have the AC on. Anyway, I'm going to keep going.
Okay. I just can't hear you too well.
Just speak louder.
And I said, it would be more telling to ask a group of people who have been targeted by police, whether fairly or unfairly, what their experience was like. And then he finally responded. I mean, most of this conversation is not with him, it's with this other girl. That's a whole other story. This is his
the basic white girl?
Yeah. So he said, I believe you are the one who has facts, as you call it, mixed up. The internet is flooded with anti-police statements due to it making money. Your search of a subject is greatly different from others due to each service. Not very good English. From others due to each service is trying to cater to one's needs. Have you actually ever talked to a cop as a friend? Have opened your eyes to how much police really do to help everyone? Have you seen the levels of violence and destruction that has been caused by BLM or Antifa, I think he means? Are you okay with history being erased based on unjustified fear? Do you realize Democrat politics are playing you for a fool? The Democrats of today are definitely not the Democrats of history. A bad day on your job is coming in late or a person yelling at you. A bad day for a cop is he or she loses his or her life. Cops give the ultimate sacrifice to protect the public 24/7. What other group can say they do that? Firefighters, you idiot. That's my little
nurses, doctors.
Yeah. I'm not done. He's like, you all have never walked a mile in a cop's shoes. So quick to believe in news stories that points the finger at an officer, and yet that same news source does not tell you the whole story nor the outcome of the cop was not found guilty or unfound. So I finally responded what I was just
taking a few moments to say. He said, so many assumptions. I'm not basing facts off of news articles. You can review footage of officers acting unlawfully and see they are rarely disciplined. You are assuming anyone who is against police brutality is against police, full stop. That is not true. The whole argument for Democrats versus Republicans is always the fallback for both sides. You're making assumptions about my political leanings, even though I have never mentioned anything about the left or the right. I'm simply looking at the evidence and going from there. And I said, another assumption is to assume the worst thing that could ever happen to me on the job is I'm late. What the fuck? That is wildly false. I have had people die on the job. I've had people almost die. Nobody is saying a cop does not have a tough time on the job, but they are certainly not trained enough to handle a lot of cases. So that's what I was saying.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And I'm not going to read the rest of all the other comments I made. Oh, I'll read the comments that I said right before this girl stopped responding. So this is after like a million messages. She's like, why do you feel the need to make 100 comments? Are you obsessed too? I understand your opinion. I accept your opinion, but I disagree with your opinion. So let's just leave it at that. I have a life, you know. I don't want to sit here and type all day. And I said, because you are not accepting facts. It's frustrating to think that we are all equal and free is wrong because we are not all treated equally. Neither you nor I may suffer the consequences of institutional racism does not mean there are people out there that don't. And she hasn't responded.
So you basically said that, you basically put it down to her that like just because she hasn't suffered institutional racism doesn't mean that she has the right to deny that it exists.
Yeah. I mean, she said that she sees my opinion and accepts it, but just doesn't share my opinion. I'm like, it's not an opinion, it's facts. And like their whole argument of like police brutality is, oh, you know, white people are killed too. I'm like, yeah, but we're talking about just like how disproportional it is. And like the severity that of punishment that black people face versus white people. To say that, to like look at these numbers and say, oh, it's because you're on the left or you're like a Democrat. I'm like, I never brought politics into this.
Like, it's not, this isn't a left or right matter. Like, it's sheer facts that, like, the percentage of black people, it's sheer facts that, like, the percentage of black people in the population is something like, what, 13%? But, like, 50% of the people killed by police are black. Like,
what raw footage?
Why are you arguing with numbers?
Well, I definitely agree with what you said earlier about it sounds like the people that are being argued with are very basic. You know, I mean, these arguments are very old, antiquated, unsophisticated arguments by someone who just doesn't know much, challenging Cynthia as if police are the only ones with dangerous jobs is ridiculous when we know that there are many jobs that are much more dangerous, like being a garbage man is much more dangerous, or any number of jobs that people take for granted, probably like construction and a whole bunch of other things. But yeah, I just heard a bunch of basic arguments there that people were, making 20 years ago before people even took a moment to actually think of these things or realized that these things were happening a lot of times.
He said, what raw footage? The ones that take a 10-second clip of a whole incident? And I replied, are you saying you're basing your opinions on assumptions outside of what is reported? Like, that's even worse. So look at a video of someone being killed and say, oh, they must have done something outside of that.
Yeah, I mean, those are the...
I don't want to be the lost.
Those are the attitudes that we've been facing forever. It's the automatic assumption, right? That's like when you deal with privilege, when you're dealing with a white person, it's the default or the assumption that they must be okay or doing the right thing, or there must be some circumstances leading them to point that gun at you if you're an officer, or run around naked with a machete or something, you're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. So it's the same thing, making an argument of seeing a black person being either killed or harassed or hurt. Oh, they must have done something before the tape started rolling, right? It's the assumption of guilt.
Well, it's the assumption in this country of guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah, and it's also, well, really it's the assumption of innocence of the officer, right? Like there must be a reason that this officer is doing something shady.
Or like, oh, this officer must have felt threatened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of the things, like one of the posts that I commented on her was from like a police officer who was like acting out a scenario of someone walking towards them and then they shoot. And that was the post that I sent to you guys. I'm like, it's not justifiable just to kill somebody because they're resisting arrest. Like sometimes what you're arresting them for is not valid. So you can't just kill someone because they don't want to be arrested because there's no grounds to be arrested. Like it's just not getting through to them, and it's so frustrating to me. Like these people who are like anti-Black Lives Matter, like.
Yeah, I don't mean to sound cynical, Cynthia, but I feel like, I don't know, this to me like feels like canvassing, right? Like, of course you wish you could reach everyone, but some people are just lost. And you're literally...
I'm not the type of person to not respond.
Some people are lost souls.
I know.
But it's like your time could be well spent on someone who might be a little bit more on the fence and who actually might listen to reason, and you might actually reach someone there. You might reach
I tried to.
Or try to.
No, that's not.
Frustrated.
You're not getting my point. My point is, if you focus on the right people, you might reach some hearts and minds. If you focus on these like totally lost people who don't get basic empathy or who are like quoting stats and attitudes from like 30 and 40 years ago, you're going to run out of gas. Whereas you have people in the middle who can be reached given like, you know, some smart, good like analogies and given some time. So all I'm saying is that like, yeah, it's great to try, but it's like.
But do you know how frustrating it is when their entire argument is, you don't know how hard it is to be a cop? Like, okay, but these people are trained.
They need to be trained to handle things better.
Exactly, and
Well,
they're
Cynthia,
not trained to handle those cases.
Cynthia, dealing with people who are unreasonable is extremely frustrating. That's the point. That's why you don't deal with them. You deal with people who are open to suggestion, who may just be on the wrong side of the fence.
But it's just, no one is saying that cops don't have a hard job, you know? But most of them just aren't trained well enough to handle most cases.
Well, it's actually worse. It's actually worse than that. It's not that they're trained well enough. The training is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not just that it's not
enough.
Yeah,
not that it's not
horrible.
It's not that it's not good. There's
Mm-hmm.
like insidious elements in the training. I mean, it reinforces racism and it okays extreme brute force. I mean, I was reading about, I don't know if it was the Eric Garner. It might have been about the Eric Garner cops who killed him, who they felt the need to keep doing what they were doing because they were being taped or something like that, and they didn't want some kind of, I don't know.
So they continued an illegal chokehold because they were being taped doing something illegal.
I don't know if that was. I don't know if that was.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Illegal. Was that illegal at the time?
It's an illegal chokehold. They said it's been outlawed since '93, and like according to some police chiefs, they're specifically trained not to fucking do chokeholds because that's deadly. You have to be trained to know when to let go.
So,
otherwise, like you can
so
knock
what if
someone
that
out in
was?
2 seconds.
So what if, according to the law, it's illegal, but according to practice, it's not. And so I wish I had the link so I could back up what I'm saying. But basically, the argument was the police continue doing what they're doing because they're being filmed and they don't want to be accused of like deviating from some standard or something.
No, I don't think it's like illegal to do chokeholds in general, because like chokeholds are taught in like self-defense classes and whatnot. I'm saying for the police officer, that's an illegal move to do.
No, that's what I'm talking. I'm talking about police. We're talking about police.
Oh, but why would they continue to do something that they know is unlawful for them to do?
Because
When they think they're being recorded.
Regulate them. They're the ones who regulate themselves.
Well, yeah. Basically, because at the end of the day, they're going to be fired from a police chief, not like a civilian board, right? So even if it's quote unquote illegal, they have no repercussions except to their bosses.
That's so frustrating.
So if according to their bosses, it's still practice and it's still standard, then if you deviate from that, then you've crossed their line.
It's not standard. That's the thing. That's why people are so outraged. Well, because he died.
That's
the way.
That's not why people are outraged, and people have no idea. People have no idea what's standard. People know what's lawful. What I'm telling you is there could exist another standard that they adhere to that has nothing to do with the law, that has to do with their practices, right? Like
but their practice isn't going to involve something that they're specifically trained not to do.
I'm not telling you they're not trained to do it. I'm telling you, according to the law, they're not supposed to do it. I'm telling you they are trained to do it.
I'm telling you they're not. They're trained not to do it.
They're trained not to do these particular chokeholds.
Not that particular chokehold.
Wait, why do you say of course like it's like this obvious thing?
Because I kept saying it.
But you're saying it as if it's supposed to be so obvious.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, according to people who like value like
just like it's not standard practice to fucking kneel on someone's neck.
Yeah, that's true. That's not standard practice.
I mean, wait, you're saying this because you know law enforcement or because you're just talking about laws?
No, I'm talking about law enforcement.
So you know
I don't know whether it's legal or illegal to kneel on someone's neck. Oh my god, this motherfucker is funny.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm trying to get to.
That's all you
like,
got.
What I'm trying to say is like, even if it were illegal, like they play by their own rules, right? That's like they play by their own practices. So, for instance, according to the public, there was no such thing as like stop and frisk wasn't this acknowledged thing that they were supposed to be doing, or this and that, but it was part of their playbook. It was part of their standard operating procedure. And even if it was legal at one time, it certainly wasn't written into the law that you can stop people of color at a higher instance than you can stop white people. But that doesn't stop them from operating differently. Now, what I'm saying is they're actually trained to do these racist things, right? It's in their training. So yeah, they're trained to do things that we would consider negative, or that may even be specifically illegal, but that doesn't stop them from doing it. That's like it's their playbook. Now, are they going to show that like to you and I and say, here, community, this is what we're working off of? No. But if anyone works for them, they're going to tell you like that's how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like that a lot of people are basically just like, well, it's our job to stop crime. So if more people are black that are committing crime, that means more black people are going to get stopped, blah, 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 blah. But like, that's such like a simplistic argument from people.
Well, yeah, I also just want to belabor the issue that like, it wasn't like some rogue cop doing this thing that he wasn't supposed to be doing. These are cops being cops. They're doing what they're trained to do. So like the whole thing about kneeling on people's necks and all that, Like, all that stuff happens on a regular basis, and it's what they're trained to do. So, like, the whole system is messed up from the top to the bottom. But these aren't like, these aren't angry, rotten apples spoiling the bunch. This is like what they've been trained to do.
Yeah,
This guy
that's
responded. He said, "That's all you got? Have you ever been in a fight? Or how about a fight for your life with someone bigger or stronger? Or how about a fight where you are outnumbered? How about if you lose that fight, you have a very good chance of losing your life?" I responded, "Your response is based on the assumption that I or everybody thinks violence from police is a no-no. Nobody is saying that. We are pointing out specific cases in which police have shown a lack of restraint and have acted unlawfully. Not that everything they do is unjustified."
Yeah, and you mentioned the shooting in the back thing, which I always mention as well, which is like, at the end of the day, you can't justify shooting someone in the back.
I don't
it
think he's
happens
gonna.
all the time.
Based on his responses, I feel like English may not be his first language, so it might be hard to
maybe it's hard to get the
get
point
through to
across.
him. Yeah. It's like trying to argue with my parents. It's just not going to happen. We don't speak one language fluently enough.
Well, I can tell you from someone whose parents do speak the language, doesn't always help.
It helps a little, but yeah,
not as much as you think.
Exactly.
I mean, listen, hard-headed people, and what exactly is the question? I'm just not going to respond. This guy's an idiot. That's a lie. I'm going to keep responding, but I'm going to try to keep my cool.
Well,
It's just frustrating that they don't see, or they're not willing to acknowledge that this.
I mean, there's what is there, like 6 billion people on this planet, and you can't save them all.
Then can we kill
that's
them
true.
all?
If we keep going in the same direction, we will. Absolutely. I mean, it's called climate change. It's coming.
Well, as it is, I've heard a lot of theories of people thinking that the COVID is like an effect of climate change, because
Really?
well, because animals are getting moved out, like we're destroying animals' habitats, so animals are getting brought into habitats closer to people, which makes it easier for viruses to jump from animals to people.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Wait. Say that because the animals are losing their habitat, so they're in closer proximity to humans.
The animals are losing their habitat, so in a lot of cases, they're moving in closer proximity to humans,
Right.
which in turn gives them more ability to, like, have viruses jump from an animal host to a human host.
well, I mean, COVID, this specific strain, wasn't it from like the wet markets in China? So it was people who brought these animals over. It's not like they were hanging out around people.
I mean, it was, but I think, like, so maybe not COVID specifically, because like you said, they brought it to the wet markets, although it's like, it's plausible that we could find ourselves with another
Oh yeah, for sure.
type of global pandemic like this, because that's indirectly caused by global climate change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's
I could see
certainly.
that.
Yeah, there's certainly animals that are coming into closer contact with us. That's for sure.
These people are really pissing you off.
They are. It's just.
I'm telling you, they're not worth it. They're totally not worth it. They're just gonna zap your energy.
That's probably why the other girl stopped responding so long ago.
Yeah, I mean, your energy's worth way more than that.
Flav, I'm fucking petty. I don't like to be.
But
Oh,
how
there's still time to be petty. Trust me, there's still.
But
still
how do
plenty of
you
time.
know these people?
I met this girl. I think I met her through my cousin. I met her like once. And then I saw this post from her. I was like, what? I need to comment.
Like I was gonna like. I mean, It didn't seem like that. Like she would have been somebody that you would have met like at Hyde Park or something.
When I saw it, I was just like, oh my god, am I seeing this? I can't believe like I actually see one of
Like,
these
am I
online.
seeing this on my feed?
The post that started it all was like a meme that said, oh, let's tear down the pyramids of Giza because it was built by Egyptians and they had slaves 5,000 years ago. Pretty much as like a response to all of these rioters and looters and protesters that are like knocking down monuments of Confederates. I'm like, that's completely different.
Right.
Like, shut up.
That's like saying like, that's like saying let's not watch Hamilton when it comes to Disney Plus next week because some of the founding fathers owned slaves. Although Alexander Hamilton himself, at least in the musical, was portrayed to be very anti-slavery.
I've never seen the musical.
I saw it on Broadway like a year ago, maybe.
How much are your tickets?
I don't to be honest with you, I don't remember because I didn't pay for them. Like my parents had bought them as like a big Christmas gift for us, and they had bought tickets like they had to buy tickets like a year and a half in advance.
What? That is so sweet of them. Aw, that's a good gift.
It's like they had bought them for Christmas in like 2016, and we couldn't go till like 2018.
You were able to use the tickets whenever?
Well, no, they bought them for a specific date. They just couldn't find a free date until 2018.
Is this still on Broadway? No, right?
Well, nothing's on Broadway now.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
Before
it is. But pre-Corona, it was still on Broadway.
Really? Oh my god.
Oh yeah. It's on like they're on like their third cast. Like even when I saw it, like when Manuel Miranda was already off.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever seen a Broadway show, but I'm gonna put it on the list of things to do.
Well, just make sure it's after September.
Mm-hmm.
I'm distressed. Like, did you hear that Lincoln Center that the New York City Ballet canceled the Nutcracker?
What? The Nutcracker's classic. You mean for Christmas?
Like they already canceled the Nutcracker for this year because of the coronavirus.
Wait, you mean the one that plays during Christmas time?
Yeah, the one that plays during Christmas time. They've already canceled it this far ahead.
Are you serious? That's ridiculously far. That's half a year in advance that they're canceling. That's crazy.
And the New York City Marathon got canceled.
When is that?
November.
I don't run, so it doesn't.
Well,
yeah, I mean,
I don't run, so I don't care.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, maybe that means they are pretty sure that there's going to be a second wave.
Well, if people aren't listening, then of course.
Well, if people aren't listening, yes. But I think with the Nutcracker, it had to do with the fact that they have to start rehearsals like months earlier.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and with the marathon, I think it was just that like the marathon like draws such huge ass crowds from all over the place.
They should do a Zoom marathon and change it to I don't know, like some kind of machines or something.
Oh my god, if they all did like a Zoom marathon where they're on a treadmill.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, you should pitch that idea. That's fucking awesome.
Or
I might join.
Have them run the marathon just on a treadmill on Zoom?
Yeah. At like 12 miles per hour.
Call it a Zoomathon.
That would be actually... See, that's doable. And you can change like the incline and like adjust it to what the trail would actually be.
Oh yeah, they should have them all connected to like a thing that can adjust their.
They do have machines like that, so I don't know why they don't do that.
So I've got an idea, Flav. So if you're gonna post this,
Huh?
You should. If you're gonna post this, Flav, you should call it Off That Ish.
Off
That ish. Well,
It's just in here.
yeah, I don't know if that translates. I mean, usually if it's not ish, I just have it as my own show, which was pitched like earlier than the ish show, which was called Let's Get Serious. So I've been trying to get my friend who really it was his title. I've been trying to get him on. But yeah, that's like the alternate. That's the alternate title is Let's Get Serious. It's just that's just kind of like the
nonpartisan title. A nonpartisan title.
Yeah, it's it was before the ish show.
So it was before all that ish started to hit the fan.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Let's Get Serious. Oh, I'm not recording? Am I paused?
No, you are now. You are now.
Oh, okay. That was earlier. I see.
That was earlier.
Oh, all right.
Oh, it says recording. Oh, it's nice to get that out.
See, it's appropriate for me to say before all that ish hit the fan because ish is the one that has all the trouble with the goddamn fan in his ear.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That is funny. I
So
mean, it's not,
before,
but
before the ish hit the fan.
yeah. Yeah, it would be nice to figure some of that stuff out. I mean, it's like, it's kind of figure outable. So we should.
Figure outable.
Yeah.
Is that a new verb?
No, it's old. It's quite old.
It's an old verb.
Yeah.
Emily, I heard that de Blasio, or is it Cuomo, hasn't really made any decisions about opening up schools again in September.
Nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about with schools. Like, from what, like, you ask 20 different people and you'll get 20 different answers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of people are saying that we might have to go to a model of, like, of kids going in every other day and doing remote learning on the off days just to allow for social distancing. I don't
You mean
know
staggering the students?
Yeah, like staggering the students or putting them on like a combination of in-person and remote learning.
You mean you would have a computer in the classroom so that you can teach remotely and teach in person at the same time?
Oh, right.
Well,
I see.
Yeah, like I would probably live stream my classes, like so that people could watch them from home, and then
come into the next one.
And then they come to the next class. So I've heard some talk about that, although and I think that would be fine for my kids. And honestly,
you don't even need them to do remote. You have like 10 kids in your class.
Yeah, I don't think I even need them. Like at my school, I don't think I even need them to do remote. Mm-hmm. But then there's some people that are saying, oh, well, like the bigger picture comes in that everything is going to be a mess with younger kids because as stuff starts to open back up, parents have to go back to work. And so, like, parents have to go back to work. And so, like, if the kids are doing any kind of remote learning, like, who's going to stay with them if they're not at school? But then at the same time, like, those elementary school kids are the same kids who would have no bloody clue how to social distance properly.
Yeah, so, I was hearing from a tenant who's a mother of like 3, I guess, young kids. She was like, yeah, I mean, if they don't figure out what we're going to do for school, like in the fall semester, or is it called semester? I forget.
Yeah, fall semester.
She was like, okay, but if I have to go to work and they don't have school and I can't afford to have like a nanny come, or like there isn't even an option to get a nanny to watch my
Who
kids.
can afford to have a nanny come? Like,
yeah. But it's just like if school isn't an option for them, then how are they going to be able to return to work if the kids are at home? You know, so
yeah,
it's like
exactly.
businesses.
What happens if like they can't work from home?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, what's good?
You missed the
So
juiciest
now it's
bits of our
on that
conversation.
Yeah, I was tied up.
Literally.
Comic books all over my lap.
Huh?
Tied up, comic books all over my lap at the time.
What's a guan be?
Not much.
Tied up by comic books. That's a new one that I've heard.
I was
I don't know
weighed
what
down.
you're doing. I know what you're doing in your house.
You sound like you just woke up.
No,
Are you just high as fuck?
no, I don't.
He
I
doesn't
don't
smoke.
Are you high on life?
Yes, I try to be.
You're always high on life.
Just a little bit worn out today.
Yeah, it's like every
Is
day.
all. Is all. So
Today's the third day that I walk to and from work. I'm just so tired. I don't want to do it 2 days.
I saw you were going in today on Facebook. Hi there.
Yeah.
It continued a lot more than that. I'm so drained from that argument.
She was. You were like her little friend. That was funny.
Wait, what?
You know you don't like when you were
Wait,
like
when
her.
you said you're
This
arguing
girl
with the
and
girl.
her little friend. You know you don't like somebody. You know you got a sour taste in your mouth when you're like her little friend.
Yeah, pretty much.
When your mom is like, take your little friend,
go
go outside.
Go play with your little friend.
So how is everybody? What I miss?
Cynthia detailing her thread, us talking about how sometimes you just can't reason with people because they're fucking idiots. That was basically like the TLDR of it.
Yeah, that was the gist of it. I was like kind of saying, they're like energy vampires, and they can definitely suck your energy, 100%. And that there might be people on the fence who are actually a little open to some information, so you might save their info for them.
I called the girl who you responded to, Cynthia. I called her a basic white bitch.
Wow. It's interesting how people, even if they don't agree with you, they're not willing to like reason with you, right?
Well, in the end, she did say, like, when she stopped responding, she was like, I have a life, you know. Like, yeah, well, I'm a fucking loser, so that's why I keep responding. She was like, listen, I hear your opinion and I accept your opinion, but I just don't agree with it. And I'm like, oh, it's so frustrating because these are not opinions, these are facts.
Well, it is a fact that, while by the numbers, maybe more white people are killed, like, in encounters with police.
But it's not numbers, it's
proportionally. Percentages. Yeah, exactly my point. But proportionally, it's like, why are like I said earlier, why are like 50% of encounters with police and by black people end in violence when there's only like 13% of the population that is black? Like the same thing. The same thing goes for like why are like all the white hipsters not getting arrested for smoking weed on the street?
Well, you're right. Statistically, right, it's more likely that a black person will get harmed in an encounter with a cop than it is a white person. Even if white people get killed more by police,
you
right?
can't say they can't say that. Use that as a statistic because like yes, there's a reason why more white people get killed. There are more white people.
Yeah.
At least here.
Yeah.
And also like a lot of the times they make arguments like, oh, well, the black community is made up of like more criminals or whatever. I'm like, yes, because society is like built or like created against them.
Well, they never met, people like Roger Stone, Michael Cohen,
Yeah, I mean that's
Donald
just
J.
I mean,
Trump.
that's just
I would
that's
still
just
argue
statistically
that
false. That's
statistic
just a
that
lie.
black people have more. I would argue that as well.
Yeah, that's a lie. That's not
Yeah,
true.
that's not. It's.
That's
I
not
mean,
true. But this is like this insidious like way of speaking where people just take. I don't know if people just like lie so much they figure some of them might slip under the radar or just using
That's
Yeah,
the
when you just
president.
throw all your lies and they can't like swat them all, some are gonna come through. Some
yeah.
are gonna like slip through the cracks. It's just so frustrating. People that are like defending beliefs. I just can't.
yeah. When it comes to crime by itself, like overwhelmingly, and again, it's interesting how, and I'm not trying to just exonerate black people and make us out to be saints, because no culture, every culture has its elements, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to just overall crime, like you can't be the most populous group in the country and have the least. First of all, I mean, there's so many factors that go into it, right? It's not even prosecuted the same. It's not even looked at the same, right? Like I so let's say I'm not committing a crime. 6 out of 10 black people can't speak to the police the way the average white person can. We just can't even have the same conversation.
They can't do the same things either.
Right. Like, some white people can just straight turn into Karen. And like if a black dude turned into Karen with a cop,
Nancy?
like Nancy, what have you, Kevin, he's getting thrown to the ground. Like I don't know. It's a different culture. I know that it was told to me some years ago, like just how police look at the average kid, and that's not even, let's exclude color. The average kid that just lives in poverty, police look at them different than the average kid who lives in like some middle class community. The average 10 to 12-year-old kid in a middle class community is still playing with their toys. When I was 10, like I was out in the street. It doesn't mean I was doing street things, but I was outside on the street. So there's an expectation that I have more street savvy, that, you know what I mean? My level of street smarts is higher. So I'm going to be looked at differently when a cop encounters me than he would, Tommy, who lives in the suburbs, who's, probably still playing with his toys with his friends. And that's any color. That's anybody of any color that grows up in it could be a white guy, it could be, a Latinx person. If they grow up in a certain environment, police by training perceive them differently. They're already, most of those kids aren't playing at, sitting at home in their room playing make believe with their toys anymore by the time they're 12. They're already outside and have an understanding of, or at least a small understanding of the way things work in that environment.
I mean, yeah, like it's interesting though, because I don't think it totally applies to everybody in the suburbs, because
No, you're right.
I sure as hell wasn't sitting and playing with my Barbies when I was 10 years old. Like I said, like I was basically like a latchkey kid from like 10, 11 on. But
but on the same token, you probably weren't outside playing chase in the same neighborhood with the dope boys, standing, all around, you know what I mean? Standing on the block or standing in the park.
Well, no, because actually, come to think of it, like I wasn't friends with the most savory characters when I was in 6th and 7th grade, but like I kind of did.
Like when I got up and I went outside, like the D boys were on the corner. When we went to the park, they're at the park chilling on the swings with 40 bottles.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know what I mean?
It wasn't like that. I was like, for us in the suburbs, it was much more like the kids like who ran across the street from after school as soon as it led out to the parking lot of the grocery store and lit up a cigarette. Like that was the people I was hanging out with. But they were, it wasn't like they were like older people. Like they were still like my age.
Yeah. Yeah, we weren't doing dirt. we just saw all the dirt being done.
Oh, we lost Cynthia, but she's coming back. But no, that's kind of, I mean, yeah, that's kind of, I don't know. I was just like, I was weird though. Like, I wasn't like your typical like suburban kid. So
Right.
like, I'm not like a marker for anything.
You
like,
were an exception to a rule.
Yeah.
What did I just miss? I'm sorry, I lost connection there for a second.
Oh, I was saying that, like, basically, that I was running with some bad kids when I was like 10, 11, 12 years old, but bad kids in the suburbs still aren't the same as like, you know, ish what you were saying, like people on the block.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you know, and I was saying like, you know, you can't really mark anything by me, but it is kind of true that like even I get looked on as an adult, like I get looked on as like, you know, not being threatening.
Mm-hmm. You know why that's why his question about like whether or not I've been harassed by a police officer, I'm like, that's just not fair to ask me, because
Yeah, it's not a fair question.
I'm just historically not a part of a group or a race that has been targeted by police officers. Like,
I just sent y'all a real cute picture.
Huh?
I just sent y'all a real cute picture.
A real cute picture.
Is it related to what we're talking about?
Jesus Christ.
Wait.
Like,
oh my god, what the fuck? That's not cute at all. What are you talking about? I thought it was like a puppy or something.
You say a puppy?
You said something cute.
Yeah, that was my sarcasm.
Yeah, that was definitely sarcasm.
Just
I'm sorry.
Don't understand.
Somebody just shared that on my Facebook page.
Oh my god, that is so funny.
Here's the thing is like, I'll say, speaking for myself, yes, I have actually gotten harassed by the police before, but my definition of getting harassed is nowhere near.
Talked to?
Well, my definition of getting harassed is like getting bothered over some stupid shit, but not like
why
you know,
are
getting
you
the shit beat out of me.
Yeah, like why are you knocking on these rich people's doors asking for money?
No,
at 9 p.m.
I never got the cops. I never got harassed by cops canvassing. I'm talking about like, you know, I remember one time I got a speeding ticket and literally, knock on some sort of wood, this is the only sort of blemish anywhere on my record, was this stupid fucking speeding ticket. But the cop was such like, I was driving a rental car back to the airport, and I could see the sign for the rental car place when I get pulled over by like an airport rent-a-cop. And and you know, I'm in the South with the New York license, with a New York driver's license. As soon as the guy sees I have a New York driver's license, he turns into an utter and complete dick. And it's like, what? You don't have speed limits in New York? You don't know how to obey laws in New York?
Wait, where were you?
Kentucky.
Oh, God.
And it was just like, I was going to the airport. Like, I could literally see the airport. From like, I was so close to the airport that the rent-a-cops had jurisdiction. And this guy was clearly so butthurt about being a goddamn rent-a-cop that he took it out on everybody. And then and I was kind of like, I was like so shell-shocked. I was just like, yes, well, no, I didn't realize how fast I was going. I really didn't. Like, trying to play all innocent. And but the guy was still a dick. So it got me to thinking, like, good God, if this guy's going to be this big of a dick to me, like, imagine how he would be if I were, like,
Without
black
privilege.
and male.
Well,
yeah, or without privilege is a more general term for it, yes. Like, if he's being a dick to me, I'm like, this is the same kind of guy who's going to, like, say he feels threatened by the black guy in the car behind me. Which is scary.
And how about you, Cynthia? Have you ever been harassed? I think we all have on some level been harassed, right?
I've never been harassed by a cop, no. But you know what? Like I was saying, it's just not fair to like generalize my experience with the overall population's experience, because I'm just not someone who's usually targeted. I mean, I've had cops stop and talk to me, and you know what? I remember once, this was what I think we were having lunch before drop-offs when we were canvassing, and I mentioned that I had a knife on me to these cops, and they're like, oh, let me see it. And I pulled it out and I showed them, and they didn't see me as a threat, but I'm sure if I looked differently, they might have seen me as a threat. They let me keep my knife, and I was on my merry way. So I've never had a bad experience with them, but anecdotally, there's just so many cases where people were not treated nicely. They were treated so unfairly. It's hard to overlook. Even though I haven't experienced it, doesn't mean that somebody else hasn't.
Well,
they took my. I was mad about it. They took my knife. I was really, really mad about it.
Exactly. Same situation, different results. They let me keep my knife.
Yeah, they took my. I remember telling the cop I was really pissed, and they wouldn't give it back to me after I got out of central booking, and I was pissed. And I'm like, yo, like, all these white people walk around with buck knives hanging off their hip, and it's okay. You know what I mean? Leatherman tools, all that. I had a little knife, a Gerber, that I had since I was in the military, that I bought when I was in the military from a military store, that was like the size of my thumb. You know what I mean? Like, the blade literally was no longer than, like, the tip of my thumb to my knuckle.
Yeah.
And he took it from me, and he was like, what do you have this for? And I'm like, it's a tool. Like, it's not illegal, right? And he took it from me. They wouldn't give it back. I went to central booking, got out. They kept the knife. I was pissed. I was really mad. I had that knife for like 20 plus years. I was really mad. I was really mad. And I got it I bought it in Germany. We all, like 5 of us bought it right before we deployed. So we all bought the same one.
Oh,
and
it's just like a memorabilia.
Yeah, I was really, and they thought I was over exaggerating. I'm like, man, I don't understand. What's the legal precedent for you to keep? Oh, we can't rearm you. Rearm me. Like every other dude walking down the street who, any guy who goes to the Dick's Sporting Goods store has got like a buck knife or a fishing knife strapped to their belt.
Yeah.
And they're good.
Every guy I know has a Swiss Army knife. Come on.
It's a utility knife. Like, there's nothing illegal about
because you're the enemy, so they can't rearm you. Everyone else
it's kind of like
a citizen.
It's kind of like when I bought my firearm, and like every time I used to take my friend, he's Italian, with me, because when I'd go to buy ammo, like, they don't want to sell it to me. They look at me funny. And I don't believe I'm not a handgun person at all. You know what I mean? I'm talking like a shotgun. But yeah, they didn't want to sell it to me. I had to take my friend with me to get it. It was when I bought a house in the suburbs, I realized I needed to have a weapon. I lived in the hood.
Protect yourself from racist assholes.
Listen, I when I lived in the hood, I didn't own, like, I never needed to. When I moved to the suburbs, they let me know right away. I have a wife and a daughter here, and it was like evident by some of the things that have happened since I, bought my house here. Like, okay, I need to have a firearm in the house.
Like, they've implied, like, hey, asshole, you're not welcome here or whatever.
They didn't imply. They said as much.
No, they didn't. Are you serious?
Oh, absolutely. Listen.
Outright?
So, yeah. So I can give you several examples. They egged my car. Right. Bro. So okay. I'll give you. I bought the house I moved from the city and bought the house in the suburbs 7 years ago, 2013. So I'm a personal trainer. So I'm kind of known in my area of the city because I'll run like 18 miles every other day, and I'll usually carry the flag when I run. So people know, they see me, like I carry a small flag.
Like a military flag?
No, just, no,
Or
like the
US flag?
U.S. flag.
Oh, okay. Oh, there is
A
no military flag.
That's what I'm like. A military flag.
Wait, they
Which
do?
one
Like
would that be?
Oh
Yeah,
my
they do.
Marines
God.
have a flag.
Yeah,
Right?
there are several. Each company actually has its own flag.
Yeah, so I'm not crazy.
Yeah,
No,
but no,
I'm having
I don't have
this
to.
vision of you running with like a flag, like it's like a superhero cape or some shit.
Well, I used to do it. It started years ago. It was 4th of July, I believe, Memorial Day maybe, and I was running in downtown Buffalo, and there's one area in downtown Buffalo where there's a monument to Black people that fought in World War II, and they put out like they'll put out these little flags in the ground all around. So I was running, I just picked one up one day, and it like became my thing. And the reason why I do it ultimately is just, I used to run all over the city, and especially through the hood, and I felt like I wanted people of any color, but particularly like Black and brown people who lived in the hood, when they saw me, I just wanted, the kids to ask a different question.
Mhm.
Because you kind of see things growing up in the hood. You see the same things. You see, a lot of negativity, and when they saw me, I just wanted, not to ask me, but just ask themselves a different question than the questions that they're forced to ask based upon what they see. So it just kind of became my thing. So based upon it, and I was in the military, so I'm usually running with my dog tags. I'd encounter, when I got to Kenmore, like 2 crowds. Like, I've had police follow me specifically because I inspired them, and they've told me as much. But then on the same token, I've had, white people pull over in their cars next to me and like make gunshot signs with their fingers. You know what I
At
mean?
you?
What
Like
the hell is
shooting
Yeah,
wrong
you?
with these
absolutely.
people?
Listen, there's this good old boy mentality in the suburbs, and I don't want to sound arrogant, because I'm very humble, especially when I have the flag, because I think that's more important than me. You understand when I'm running with it? So I'm very humble. But I'll get, positive feedback, negative feedback. Not that I'm looking for feedback, but like, I'll see old veterans and they'll see me running and they'll stop and salute. I've had people follow me just to ask to take my picture. On the same token, I've had Black people tell me, "Why are you running with the flag? We're not from here. We're from Africa." I've had white people, yeah, I've seen, so I'm not painting a picture of one, just, negative towards white people. Like, Black people have been very negative to me as well, but
Opinions
also
are
have
like
been very,
assholes. Everyone has one.
right. But I've had white people, I found out that there are some good old boy gun-toting white people that never joined the military, that have a problem. The best way that I can describe it is, you have a problem because I represent your country better than you do.
Oh, they
That's
have a problem
really,
with people in the military?
no, they have a problem with a Black guy running with the
Oh.
dog tags and a flag. You
They
understand what I'm
have a problem
saying?
with their own small dick.
Right, but and so I've, like, one time I'd run 18 miles, and I was sprinting to my house, and as I two, 3 or 4 houses down, I run past the house, and this guy, he had to be in his 50s, heavy-set white guy, and he had his son with him who looked like he does like contract work, same stuff that I do, had on like a hard hat and full beard. And this guy was like, old white guy in his 50s. He gets out of his car, turns towards me, and he's like, "If I see you on the highway, better stay out of my way," like rapping, right? I'm like, he's not
Are you
joking,
fucking
like,
serious?
no, straight up, straight up. I'm like, oh, so I kind of laugh it off, come in the house, tell my wife about it, and she's like, "Well, Ish, it's not funny." She was like, "I'm kind of concerned, like, me and Brianna, my daughter, are here." And I'm like, oh, that's when I realized, because to me, that stuff is funny. Listen, I've had the first year I lived here, the police came and gave me and my wife a ticket for running a red light while we were standing in our backyard.
What? How is that
We
possible?
weren't even in
Yeah.
a car. How the hell is that possible?
Listen. We were driving home, right?
Yeah.
So we're on the main street. We get to the red light, Belinda stops. There's a cop car behind us. She stops at the red light. She makes a left down a side street, coming to my house. We have no clue that the cop wants to pull us over
Yeah.
because he didn't put his lights on or anything, right?
Yeah.
So she makes the left. makes a right, hits the button on the power button on the garage door. So we drive into the garage, close the door, walk out of the door to the garage, and there's a cop standing in our backyard. And I'm like, "Can I help you?" He's like, "Yeah, you ran that red light down the street and around the corner."
And
Like,
over
what?
the woods to grandmother's house.
Like, wait a minute, what? Literally, this is what I'm like, hold fast. I'm like, hold fast. Wait a minute, what? So, and I was really upset with her because this is the position that he put me in. So this is my wife. You know, today we've been married 25 years, but at the time, 18 years, right? So she was driving. So he just unlatches my gate, walks into my yard. My daughter's in the house, and I'm like, "Can I help you?" And he, explains to me what happened, and I'm like, "Well, we didn't run a red light." He was like, "Not only did you run a red light," he was like, "you didn't give me a chance to pull you over."
What?
Because she didn't make you red a red light.
Listen. That's what I'm sitting there like, what do you mean give you a chance? I don't even understand how this works. What do you mean give you a chance to pull you over?
When you see a cop behind you, you know that there's a good chance we're going to fuck with you. So give me a chance to put my lights on.
Listen, he was like, I intended to pull you over. I'm like, well, how am I supposed to know? Like, normally when you pull people over, you turn on your lights.
I can't believe you talked back to him and he didn't do something to you.
Not only did I talk back to him, I cussed him. Like, they brought like 4 more cops, but this is the position he put me in, and my wife kind of put me in the position too. And we talk about it to this day because I was very upset because we own the house.
Yeah.
Like, if there's any place on earth where I have a right to stand up for my rights, it's on the property that I paid for. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
we lost you. Hello?
Go in the house. He's like, if you move, I'm taking you to jail. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, now he's in my wife's face. Listen, my wife has never broken a law in her life. In her life. So he's in her face yelling at her like she's like the lowest common denominator in society. And I have to stand there in my yard and watch this. So I'm fuming. Like, I'm losing my temper. So the one cop's like, "Yo, you need to lower your voice." I'm like, "Listen, you need to shut the F up." Like, I'm like, "I don't got to do nothing. You need to," I'm like, "get off my property." "Oh, we have a right to be here." I'm like, "So what you're telling me is that you can just come to my house, ring my doorbell, and give me a ticket?" Did I lose everybody? Am I frozen?
No, I still hear you.
Okay.
No, you were to me a few minutes ago.
We're listening.
Oh, okay. I'm like, you can just come to my house, ring my doorbell out the clear blue, and just give me a ticket? They're like, yeah, and what we're telling you is if you're, so I'm like, yo, this is like I'm just arguing with them. I'm like, this is some racist. So the one cop is like, I'm not racist. My mom is black, even though he didn't look like his mom.
I'm not racist. My mom is.
And I'm like, what do you mean you're not racist? He's like, we're just doing our job. I'm like, when is the last time you gave someone a ticket while they were standing in their backyard? Like, you can hear pins drop. You know what I mean? Because you've never done this before in your life.
When have you followed somebody home to give them a fucking ticket?
Well,
to give them a ticket.
Here's the problem, too. In situations like what you're describing, like assholes like this crazy person, Cynthia, that you were responding to on Facebook are just going to be like, they're going to be like, well, you provoked them. If you didn't provoke them, they wouldn't have acted that way. Well, no. You didn't provoke them. They provoked you.
Yeah.
And they took it there. They didn't have to take it there. And I see the same thing with like any figures of authority.
Yeah.
And
it's like, if you resist, if you don't comply, you're going to get killed, and it's justified. No, it's not justified.
Well, in my situation, I was really upset and I told my wife afterwards, I said, the next time we're ever in that situation, like, we have to be on the same page. If you go in the house, I'm going in the house, I'm closing the door, I'm locking it in their face. And she was like, Ish, I just don't know, she goes, she said to me, "You're not a lawyer." I was like, I don't have to be a lawyer. I know, I understand my rights. Like anytime I'm about to stand up for my rights is when I'm standing on my pride. Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Go in the house. And I said to her, here's the reason why I was telling you to go in the house. Because this grown man is in my wife's face on my property yelling in her face. And I'm supposed to just stand here.
You're supposed to
And
just stand there and take that shit? No.
The longer he does this, the angrier I'm getting, and the worse the outcome could be. Like, I really need you to go in the house so I could go in the house right behind you. We'll close the door, and then whatever happens from there, you know, if they call more people, if they feel like they got to get a warrant and take me to jail for that, so be it. Like, we can go from there. But I can't stand here and watch this dude yell in your face like you just robbed a store or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I making me stand, so I'm losing my temper, and I'm like, I was really losing my temper, and it could have gotten bad. And you know, and I said to her, so what happens if I snap? Because I can't just keep watching this guy, and then, you know, I'm the next shot black guy on his own property. You know what I mean? And so she understood that. But there's a lot of situations, like when I first moved here, you know, I remember on the 4th of July, I was walking down my street because I live a block away from the park where they do the fireworks for the city. So everybody comes to my neighborhood and parks their cars, and they're like all over the place. So I'm walking down the street. There's probably I don't know, 40, 50 people walking down the street, and the cop just pulls up to me and he's like, "Get out of the street." And I just looked at him.
Other 40
And
or
I
50
looked at
people
all
in the
these
street?
people like walking in the street, people pushing their strollers. He just pulls up to me. He's like, "I'm not going to argue with you. Get out of the street." I'm like, "I'm not going to argue with you either." And I just kept walking down the street. But these things happen all the time. Somebody egged my car. They egged my car because the teenagers got mad because they used to skateboard down my sidewalk from my gate. And the one kid skateboarded and he got hurt. His mom came and she was upset. So the next summer when they were skateboarding, I'm like, "Yo, y'all can't skateboard down the driveway."
You said, "Get these damn kids off my lawn."
No, I'm cool. You know what I mean? But I'm like, y'all just, you know, someone could get hurt, and, you know, somebody was upset. So they came back the next week, like 6 of them, and they stood across the street from my house. And like for the next 10 minutes, it was
that's
like
real mature of them.
It was like the niggers and the niggers and the niggers.
With the
and
hard
the niggers.
R?
Yeah, it was the niggers and the nigger this and that nigger and all those niggers. And so I just finally was like, "Yeah, go get your dad so I could." Like, yo, I was like, "Yo, each one of y'all just go get your dads. Tell them to come to my house, since y'all really think that it's like." And I'll explain to your parents, like, y'all, like your parents who may even feel the way that you feel towards me, they may think I'm a nigger. I guarantee you that they would not be cool with y'all standing in front of my house saying, because something can really happen to you. Like something, if I wasn't who I was, something will really happen to you. And that they're not going to be okay with that. Mm-hmm. I'm like, so go. They left and they never bothered me again. They egged my car. They egged my garage. You know what I mean? But, you know, or I'll give you another instance. I like to, you know, go outside late at night, usually run or walk. And I was standing in my yard, and this cop he'll drive around the block like 6 times, and finally he stopped at the other corner, and then he just pulled up to me and was like, "Where are you supposed to be?" I'm standing in my yard. It's like, "Where are you supposed to be?" So I didn't say anything. He's like, "Did you hear me? Where are you supposed to be?" I'm like, "Oh, are you talking to me?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm talking to you. It's 1 a.m. Who else would I be talking to?" And I'm like, "Here." And he goes, "Where?" I'm like, "Here." And he goes, "Where do you live?" He goes, "Where do you live?" And I said, "Here." And he just rolled up his window and drove off. Like, this is just what they do.
I'm surprised he took your answer for what it was, instead of thinking that you're lying.
I mean,
well, all you would have had to done is handed him your ID, and he would have gotten the point. Like, then he probably would have been an ass and said it was fake or something. But
I don't respond well to that. Like, I get in trouble with cops because I'll be walking down the street and they'll just be like, "Hey, you," and I'll just keep walking.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
And then
like, they get mad.
What am I doing? What am I doing? Why are you bothering me?
My thought process is I don't have to talk to you. if you don't detain me and tell me that I did something, like I don't have to just talk to you because you say, hey, you.
You have
I
the
just
right to
don't have to
remain
talk to you.
silent.
And especially if I'm minding my business, tell me I did something. But in that instance, I wouldn't have shown him my ID. I just would have walked in my house.
Well, yeah, that works too.
But
If you
now
walk in the house without a crowbar, that works. Yep, that proves that's your house.
my town is only 5 miles square, so the police around here now know who I am and where I live, so they're cool with me. Like people will call the police if they see me outside at 1 in the morning, and the police will drive by and see it's me and just keep going.
People are still calling the police on you? If it's such a small place, they should know who you are too, the neighbors.
So a couple months ago, I was outside of my yard about 1:30 in the morning. I had just come from a walk. Actually, it's funny because two things happened. One time I was walking because I'll go for like long walks. So I was going for a walk and this car came around the block and they saw me and went back around the block and slowed down and took my picture. Because I guess they thought like I was gonna rob, in case I robbed somebody, they had my picture. But so the one time I'm standing in my yard and I heard the whole conversation because this guy lived across the street from me and like 6 houses down. He gets out, he must have got off work. Younger guy goes in the house and I hear him arguing with someone and the woman is like, mind your business. So he comes back out the house and he just stands on his porch and I could see him.
I could see where this is going.
I could see him like standing in the shadow and I'm standing at the side of my house and I'm military, so I'm very alert about things, and especially at night I'm very comfortable. I can step into a shadow and you just won't see me. Like I like to walk under the shadow of trees, and seriously, that's how I like to operate. So I'm watching him.
That's so creepy, dude. That's why I don't like walking around at night.
I mean, I walk in the suburbs, so I have to know when I don't want to be seen for my own safety. And so plus he was watching me. So finally he gets off of his porch and he walks, and I'm talking to my friend. I'm like, here, dude, come. And I'm talking to my man Jay, who's white, and he's like, he's really coming. I'm like, yeah, here he come. So he walks to the corner, turns the corner, sweater pocket, and I know, like, you got the thing on you. Like he had a gun on him. So he comes and turns the corner, and I'm standing there watching him. Right, I'm in between. So I put myself in between my car and my garage. So he turns the corner and he can't see me anymore. So he looks into my neighbor's yard, like he kind of walks up into his backyard and looks around and then comes out and goes back to his house. And I watched him the whole time. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking about like, this dude is shady. Like he was looking for some type of encounter or thought I was doing dirt. Mind you, the neighbor whose yard he went to, my neighbor is like 70% blind, old white guy. And I shovel or snow blow his snow every winter. I'd never seen this kid come to this guy's house for any reason, like ever. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I shovel this dude's snow for every winter. You're looking to check up on his house, like I'm gonna do something to his house. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I've never seen you before. And he just didn't know how much danger he was in. He just like he boldly walked. He had his hand in his pocket. Like, I see what you're holding. I know you're holding something. I'm standing in between my garage and my car. I literally open up my garage door and I have a shotgun in my hand. For people like you. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Like, literally. And he didn't even see me anymore. And I'm watching him the whole time. And I'm like, man, this kid, and he was a younger dude, like in his young 20s. And I'm telling my man, I'm like, yo, this kid doesn't even understand how much danger he's in by not minding his own business. Like, if you have a problem, call the police.
Yeah.
Well,
you see what I'm saying?
He was looking for a fight, for sure.
Yeah, he was looking for the wrong problem.
Here's what gets to me, too, is that I think that a lot of people don't realize, and I think, everybody in here has spent like some portion of their time living upstate, but some portion of their life living upstate, some more than others. But like, I think a lot of people down in New York don't realize how much more like the flyover states certain parts of upstate can be.
Yeah, apparently upstate is pretty racist. But
how do you mean flyover?
Well, I think that like when people think of like New York as a state, people think of like how it is in the city, but and they don't realize that there's a lot more like, you know, racism, right wing
Oh yeah.
thinking, whatever have you, upstate. But being upstate in a rural area is like, you know, it's like being in Ohio or like Missouri or something like that.
Well, Buffalo isn't really rural, but it is
Well,
like
no, but
top 10 most racially segregated city in the country.
Yeah, what's up, KD?
Third most segregated.
Yeah, I knew it was like number 3 or 7. I just couldn't remember which one.
The third most segregated.
Yep.
Sad, but
So it's very racially segregated here.
Yo, KD, what's good?
what's good with you, Flavius?
Chilling.
Emily, Cynthia, Ish.
So we ended up winning that race I was telling you about. The Jamal Bowman
race.
The Jamal Bowman race. I thought it was
Oh,
going to
you
take
did
a
win?
long time. Yeah, I mean, they pretty much already announced it. I mean, there's still absentee ballots to count, but I think he's winning like 2-1, so they don't see any change in the victory.
Good job. Good
Yeah,
job.
so it was a big one.
Good
I
job.
mean, I know they haven't opened my ballot yet, so I technically haven't voted yet
Oh yeah.
because I voted. Well, here's the thing: I could have gone in person, and I'm not sure if like my idea worked or not. But my thought was, the more people that voted absentee, then they would consolidate the polling places and have fewer poll workers be like at risk for coronavirus, because at
Right.
least around here, a lot of the people who work the polls are like old ladies.
Right.
So I'm thinking like, you know, maybe they would need fewer poll workers if more people voted absentee, but I don't know if enough people did for them to close poll sites.
Well, that's also, there's a risk you're running there is longer lines and people in closer proximity.
True too. That's true too. On the flip side, like
I mean, I've seen pictures of horror stories of people lining up blocks and blocks away from their poll sites in some of these places.
Well, 4 years ago, I was lined up blocks and blocks away from my poll site at 6 o'clock in the morning, like when it was the last presidential election.
Yeah. And this is for a primary, you know?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I've never been in like long lines in a primary, but I definitely was in a like halfway down the block line at 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, although I think the same thing happened. I think it was the primary. Now that I think of it, I think I was in a line halfway down the street when it was Hillary versus Bernie. And I think I was in a line I think it was a line halfway down the street the second time Obama ran too. And I'm like, come on, guys, it's like this. I mean, this is a good sign if it's 6 o'clock in the morning and there's lines like out the door.
Yeah, that many people are voting.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't really that surprised, like at least with the Obama election in my neighborhood, because A, my neighborhood is majority Black, and B, like, and that was the year that people were allowed to vote anywhere, like at any polling site in the city, even if it wasn't their usual one because of Hurricane Sandy.
Oh, yeah.
That was the year Cynthia Tarek voted in our precinct with Misha, and he lives in Far Rockaway, so.
How? He wasn't displaced.
Yeah, he was staying here during that election.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah,
really?
he was.
He stayed with you?
He stayed with us for like a week because he couldn't get to work otherwise, because the train was shut down between the Rockaways and the mainland.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Okay.
So he stayed with us for like a week because we lived in Manhattan. And that week happened to be election day, so he went and voted in our precinct with Misha.
When I went to vote the other day, like I keep seeing this polling place like for early voting on my way to work. I'm like, you know what? I'll just stop by on my way. I didn't even think that it like, oh, this is outside of my normal polling place. Like it's gonna be a little different. So I gave them my name, my ID, and they had my name listed. And they're like, oh, go to this table. So I go there, and they're giving me like such a hard time because I'm like 40 something blocks away from where I live. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Just give me a ballot. Let me vote. Why is it so hard? Like,
What, were you in like the 70s or something?
Yeah, I was on the Upper East Side. And I was like, oh, this looks a little different than the absentee ballot I received because I didn't mail that in. I was like, let me just do it in person. And she was like, oh, probably because you're outside of your district. I'm like, isn't each table set up for like a specific district? Why can't you each have different ballots based on whatever district you're in? Like, why do you have to make it such a big deal?
Like, why is this so serious?
Yeah. It's like, it's all New York. Why can't I just go into a polling place and vote? Like, what are all these tables set up for, if not for different districts? Like, is that how it's supposed to be?
They're trying to make it like as difficult for people to vote as possible, and especially like at the Upper East Side, they're like, you damn minorities in Harlem, you can't be voting.
It's like, oh, you're 116? I'm like, yeah. Give me a fucking ballot. Let's go. I have to go to work. Oh. But yeah, I casted my vote. Hopefully it counts. Who knows?
They made you sign an affidavit or something?
Yeah.
Well,
Yes, they did.
the good news is that I was reading, it looks like that New York probably will send a few delegates for Bernie.
Yeah.
Because Bernie got something like 20% of the primary vote here, even though he's no longer technically even a candidate.
Right.
He is. He was on the ballot. Why would they put him on the ballot if he's not, just because he's not, like, running?
And you know, I saw a campaign commercial of his like maybe 2 days ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, all of their names are still on the ballot.
Yeah, like Warren was still there. Like,
Yeah. So.
well, because they were going to cancel the primary and just give all the delegates to Biden by default. And
Really?
because of all of the, and they were trying to use it as an excuse that coronavirus, that there were like 20 upstate counties that didn't have other races, and they were going to be wasting paper and passing coronavirus, which the 20 upstate counties with no other races, I can believe that because my mom said that the presidential primary was the only thing on her ballot when she got it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Wow.
like they went behind this whole guise of like trying to save paper just give all the delegates to Biden, like flat out, and Andrew Yang sued them.
Oh shit! Really?
And then Andrew
sorry.
Yang sued the state, and then it came back, like an appeals court had to decide that like the state appealed, and then an appeals court decided that it was unconstitutional to deny people the right to vote for their preferred candidate, even if their preferred candidate had suspended their campaign.
Go
I'm
Yang.
sorry to be so critical, but I have to criticize what I'm seeing right now. An old friend of mine just posted a picture on Facebook, and she's very, I don't know if self-conscious is the right word, but she likes to seek attention. So she's standing here taking a selfie. She's standing here taking a selfie. She took a selfie of herself in one of those full body mirrors in a bathing suit, right? And like her face is super photo filtered with even like little cartoon hearts around her head.
Mm-hmm.
And the picture is captioned "Night Swim." Mind you, there's like a window behind her, and the sun couldn't be shining any brighter.
Wait, I want to see the picture.
Okay, I'm gonna see you the picture, but I'm gonna post the picture. But y'all, like, y'all can't like. This is a friend of mine. She's actually a friend of mine. I work with her. I've known her a long time. So like, don't make this a Facebook meme or
I
anything.
won't
Or
make
be
it a meme. I won't
like,
send it to my students.
it
They're the
stays
ones
with
that
us.
make it a meme.
But yeah, I'm gonna post it in the group thread, and it literally the picture is captioned "Night Swim."
Do I need to tell your wife you're looking?
It's on Facebook, and this is a friend of mine. So
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
we used to work together for a lot of years. Amber, and she's not very pretty either.
Hey, that's so mean.
What, that I have an
Holy
opinion?
shit.
That I have an opinion? Wait a minute.
It's like, this is my dear friend, but she ugly as fuck.
I didn't say
Take a
that.
look. You said she wasn't
I didn't
pretty?
say that.
Everybody has
But
one.
the one doesn't equate to the other. Like, yo. Listen, I don't live in this world where everybody is beautiful. Like, I don't believe that when they be posting those memes on Facebook. Like,
That
you're all
is so
beautiful.
mean. Did you send it? I haven't seen it.
I'm sitting it out. She's like, that's so mean, but send it. But send it.
It's like, that's so mean, but I want to see this.
Of course I want to see it.
Hold on. She said that is so mean. Wow.
Tisk.
Okay, I just sent it. Mind you, it's captioned with "Night Swim."
Shit, she is kind of ugly.
Oh my god, Emily. Stop. Night swim.
Did y'all see it?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I shouldn't
like,
have said that.
It's straight caption with "Night Swim," and I'm like, but it's like high noon. What's going on? And like, I don't know. I think this is just her way of. I mean, I know her, so she does.
It's her way of getting attention.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she wouldn't wear a bikini then if she.
She is wearing a bikini.
No, it's a bathing suit. Bikini has in like two pieces.
Isn't it a two-piece?
Oh, no, that's a one.
Oh, shit, you're right. I wasn't paying attention.
Did you think she had a neon midriff?
No, but what it is, no, but it does have like holes cut in the sides, like
Yeah.
where it does have holes cut in the sides where fat people like me
It's
have
a
love handles.
bacanti.
Why don't you comment on the picture like, dude, I see the sun right behind you. What are you talking about?
No, I don't want to. Like, what do you mean?
You
Night
don't
swim?
want to
You mean
incite anything.
She's like, it's nighttime in Alaska. It's nighttime somewhere.
Yeah, well, it's also 5 o'clock somewhere.
Night swim. That's just so funny. Like, that could be a meme. Literally, that could be a meme with that caption. Like, night swim? Really?
She could have just said going for a swim. Why does she specifically say night swim? I don't get it.
Because I think she wants people to think she just took the picture.
No, but she could have taken the picture. And, oh, I see what you mean. She posted it at night.
Like she posted
Yeah,
it
she posted it just now.
Oh.
She's about to go for a swim right now, even though that picture is probably like from last year at like noon. You know what I mean? It's kind of like those posts that they put on Facebook where it's like 20 people who got caught, lying in their selfies.
Uh-huh.
And it's like it's always the girl laying in the bed, like boys play too much, taking pictures of you while you sleep, but like you see the mirror and you see him taking the selfie.
Well, there was one I saw where like some guy was claiming he was on a business trip. Like he sent it like with a caption like just got to the hotel for my business trip, but the selfie caught in the background like some other chick in the bed. So like the guy basically
That's a business trip.
Cheating on his wife.
That's a business trip.
I don't know what kind of business trips you're going on.
I mean, people business is people business, right?
Oh, so what? Oh, so what you're saying is that you subscribe to the area code rule?
No, I'm just saying, you know, one man's business trip is another man's what
Pleasure?
happens in Vegas. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
You know, I don't go on business trips.
Yeah, that's why I say, what kind of business trips are you going on? Clearly not those.
As a black man, business trips aren't within my privilege range.
Oh my god.
Business
How do you
trip-
know that this girl isn't like quarantined in Alaska, and that is in fact nighttime for her?
She lives in South Buffalo.
Okay.
I
But
know
how
where
do
she
you know
lives.
she's not quarantined somewhere else? Did you see her recently?
This is where we going with this, Cynthia? This is what we doing?
Cynthia's picking
I'm
apart
just
the
saying,
argument.
how do you know that she's not actually in Alaska? Do you have proof that she's currently in South Buffalo?
Do I have, like, what kind of proof?
Like, oh, I just saw her today, so I know for a fact she's in Buffalo. There's no way that
Cynthia's
she
looking-
flew to Alaska.
Cynthia wants receipts.
I don't have any receipts for that.
Okay.
But I do have common sense. Common
Well,
sense
at least
tells me
someone does.
you was in South Buffalo yesterday posting pictures.
Oh, I see.
So that's the receipts that Cynthia's looking for.
Why would you be in Alaska today talking about night swim? She
Especially
didn't
when
say
no one's
night
But
swim
you-
in Alaska.
Or she is in Alaska and the pictures that she posted yesterday were fake.
Well,
Just saying.
geez, you're just going at this from every angle, Cynthia.
I just feel
She's
so bad
reaching.
for her. Someone just called her ugly. I have to defend her.
I didn't call her ugly.
You said she wasn't pretty.
No, Emily said she was ugly. I did say she
Yeah,
wasn't.
I said
I did-
someone. I said someone called her ugly.
I did say she wasn't pretty, but like, that's okay. That doesn't mean she's a bad person or she doesn't have a
I didn't
beautiful
say
spirit.
you said that she
It
was a bad
doesn't mean
person.
she's a bad person. It's just that I personally do not find her a very attractive person.
Right. Right.
Do you have a picture of her without the filter?
I probably do.
I bet she's hot as fuck.
She's not. She has a nice body though. Like she has a nice. Never mind. I
Let's
don't want to be
see.
crass.
I want to see.
Yo,
Oh, you're saying you
You-
don't want
yo,
to be
yo,
pressed because
yo,
there's ladies
yo.
present?
listen. Let me tell you how this works, right? Because I am the king of underhanded, shady sarcasm. So what you're doing, Cynthia, I just want to know because you said that I was mean, right?
Yeah.
Don't think that I don't recognize that you're being mean right now.
I'm not being mean. I want to see a
And you're
picture of it.
I
wanna see an unfiltered picture of it.
Hot. I bet she's like, what are we doing here? She's like, yeah, I bet she's hot. Let me see her. Let me see.
It's hard to judge a filtered picture, though. Can we
Why do you
agree?
think people filter those pictures?
Yeah, but
Because
some
they
people's
don't wanna be
perception of
seen.
themselves is not the same as how we perceive them. Just like
If
that
you ever see me-
Catwoman.
If you ever see
Catwoman?
me on Facebook, I go in on filtered photos. I be dogging filter. I don't dog the people, but I always, every once in a while, just make a comment. Cause like, people put puppy dog noses on, and like, what's happening to my life? Like,
Like, why
Okay.
do you have a puppy dog face on?
right? Why do you have a puppy dog face and like rabbit ears?
Okay, I'm gonna show you this Jocelyn woman. This
I'm gonna
Catwoman.
find a picture for you. Okay.
All right, and I guarantee you, after all that plastic surgery, she thought she looked hot, but she's not. This is what I'm saying.
Oh, you are so mean. Oh, you are so mean.
That's what I'm saying. People's perception of themselves. is not the
You
same
just
as
said she
people's
wasn't
other
hot.
No, she's ugly as fuck. Do you see the
Yeah.
same picture? You
Yeah,
think that's hot?
that's. But isn't that mean, Cynthia?
Isn't
Did
that
you say
mean?
that?
I think this is a fact.
Oh, when you deem it to be a fact, it's not me.
That's
This is
even meaner.
completely different. This
That's
person
even
is
meaner.
so.
If you call it a fact, that's even meaner.
But
That's
look what
real
she
mean.
used to look like. Come on.
Did you send it?
That's what she used to look like.
Who
I don't
is
see it.
that?
Which-
I
She's
don't
the
see it.
heiress, Jocelyn, whatever, the Catwoman.
Why don't I see it?
Oh, I'm showing it on the Zoom call.
Oh, let me go to the Zoom thing. I was looking for an unfiltered picture for you.
Yeah, we're
Show
all
it
here,
again.
man. We're
Yeah,
all
no,
showing
but
our
he was
faces.
asking me to show an unfiltered picture. I'm ugly.
I wouldn't know. You never joined the call with a video.
Nobody's calling me mean.
Well,
feeling
saying
some type
it
of
about
way.
yourself, it's different.
But can I see the Jocelyn picture?
Oh, yeah.
Situation over here.
What is that?
This is infused tea. It's sorrow infused with sativa, and then it's I think some Jack. No, is it Jack
Are we
Daniels or is it
starting with the-
Jim Beam? I think.
Are we starting with the lifted tea again?
We're not starting with it. We're
You're right.
Continuing.
Jocelyn is
It's
so
in the
ugly.
middle.
I can't even see her.
we're
I
continuing.
just showed her, dude.
Continuing.
I
You
have a
looking?
pretty.
I can't see it.
You
I don't
can't
see
see that.
anything. I see you guys. I don't see.
You have to look at my box. Do you see her?
Oh, what is that?
That's what I said. What is it?
Oh, that's. You see what I mean?
All right, I'm gonna send you guys an unfiltered photo of my friend.
You remember that show? Ish, you probably remember that show, Manimal.
I
Yes,
remember
of course.
Manimal.
It was so
Remember
dope.
Remember Manimal?
Yeah,
That
Yeah,
looked
I
like a
remember
mid change of Manimal.
Like mid change, where like the nose goes like almost
Like
ego,
mid-change.
like almost ego ego beak nose.
Yeah, almost eagle. Caught it right
So
before
that's-
you.
I mean-
Speaking of filtered pictures, I got a crazy one on my phone.
A crazy one.
I've got a crazy filtered picture, like this is this is madness.
Of you? Of who?
I can't get it to. Yes, it is of me. But some
Oh
dude
my
thought it was real. Like they thought it was a real picture of 6ix9ine.
Yo, Ish, where's the picture?
I'm looking for. Man, oh George. That listen. I'm not those people. I'm not that girl and her little friend. Don't take it out on me. All right, I found a picture. Let's see if I can. What is happening here? You used to could be able to just. All right, that's what I had to do.
Let's see. Oh, that's Emily. Okay, that's something.
No, but like I sent it to. I was chatting with someone on Instagram, and I sent them that filtered picture because I just happened to have my hair in braids at that time. And like, they literally
So
thought it was
realistic.
a real picture.
You're a real 6ix9ine fan, aren't you?
I mean,
I
low key,
saw you
kind of.
quoted him. I saw you quoted him earlier today.
Low key, I kind of am.
What does he have? A new song like "A Snitch Is a Snitch"?
All right, let's hear it, Cynthia.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, no
Oh.
comment, huh?
That's the same person.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying anything. I have nothing to say.
She's like, no comment.
The picture didn't go through.
I think Ish, I stand corrected would be is apropos in this moment.
Nothing came through. I don't know. I didn't see anything.
Oh, you're still laughing at my picture then?
No, she doesn't have any comment on that.
Given such evidence, is she accurately correct?
Yep.
She's not.
That's so mean-ish. Oh my god.
Oh, I mean,
Would you say that to her face?
if she asked me,
What? You would tell her she's ugly to her
You're
face?
honest.
I would
Kelsey,
never.
am I lying?
He's telling the truth.
No.
Listen,
That
I
is
can tell you
so
exactly how that
mean.
conversation would go. She would say, Ish, do you think I'm pretty? He'd say, no.
That is so mean.
Yeah, you would just be like, no.
And then he'll tell her, not that my opinion means anything.
Yo.
You'd be like, take me with a grain of salt.
Nailed it. No, don't take me with a grain of salt.
What if she asked you?
That would be sending the wrong signal.
What
I
if
would
she
never
asked you,
say-
do you think I'm ugly? Would you say yes?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, maybe
But-
she just knows better than to ask him. Because
She
knows
does,
he
though.
would be honest.
See, people that know me know, like, if you ask me, I'm gonna tell you, and it's all love.
Now, I feel like it would be more like, I don't think that you're ugly.
No,
wouldn't-
I do think she's ugly.
Oh my.
I'm not gonna lie and be like, no, I don't think you're ugly. Just, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I'm not gonna make
The
you.
most
Like, if you're,
cushion he'll probably give with that is, well, I've never considered you pretty.
Oh my god, dude.
Well,
How
see,
is
I
this
mean,
not
that's a-
harsh?
But that's a big difference, though. That's what I was trying to give maybe some extra cushion. Like, well, I'm not going to call you ugly, but I definitely don't consider you pretty or something like
and Mike,
that.
I think you're a man of high character, and I think it's commended that you will push in such blow. Like, I think it's something that is commendable.
Well, your man Katie is over there. Your man Katie is over there trying to supply some cushion as well.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's like
good
real
company.
cushion.
But
Like, if
Well,
the
that's-
question
that ain't
is,
no
do I
real-
think
I
you're
mean-
ugly? And if you ask, if the question is, do I think you're ugly? And the answer is yes, unless the answer is something like, and I mean this truthfully, like, well, some days, but then other days I'd be like, oh. Or I might, if I'm gonna cushion it, I might say something like, you know, sometimes people's bodies make them look a lot better than they actually are.
See, that's a very respectful answer, I think.
Really?
As opposed to like, yeah, I think you're ugly. But like,
That is a
no.
very Ishmael sarcastic answer.
here's the thing. It's
But you have to dance around it. You can't be like, yeah, I think you're ugly.
I'm not a dancer.
Here's the thing. There's a reason why, like, for example, there's a reason why I don't say to people, do you think I'm fat? No! Like, I'm how big or not big I might be.
You know, sometimes I feel uncomfortable when people like joke about their weight around me, because then like
Makes
it's
you
not
feel
that I
bad.
have to. No. It's like it's not that I have to defend them, but it's kind of like it feels like they're trying to fish for compliments. And like I'm not one to like lie and be like, "Oh my god, girl, you look so thin." But at the
You just
same
gotta
time,
get
I'm not
creative.
gonna.
My problem with you, Cynthia, is just growing exponentially.
Why?
It's just like wait a minute. So
You just got
let me
to find
get
ways
this
to be
straight.
more creative.
Let me get this straight.
No,
Only
I'll
you
just
can
be
call
like,
people-
"What?"
Only you can call people ugly.
Just be like, you know what? You
only
wear your weight.
Only
you
you
wear your
don't have
weight
to
so
cushion
well.
the blow, huh?
Like, listen, I'm not calling a civilian ugly. This is a celebrity. I think they're available to be
civilian?
judged.
So we're
I
never
can
gonna
kinda
available for
respect-
criticism.
I can kind of respect that.
Yeah, she's an heiress. She's a fucking millionaire. She can. My opinion doesn't affect her. She looks like shit. Come on. But like, I'm not gonna call one of my friends like, "Yeah, I think you're ugly. I think your teeth are fucked up."
Yeah, but no one's calling anyone ugly if asked.
Also,
Thankfully, I've never been asked.
by somebody.
I do also just want to throw in there that the original question was, do you think she's pretty? And then you turned it into, if she's not pretty, she's ugly.
No.
There's a big
I
C.
never, I
There's a
didn't turn it into
gray
that.
No,
No,
that's
he's saying
Cynthia.
I
That's
did. He's
Cynthia.
saying I
That's-
did. Yeah.
I'm talking to Cynthia. You can't tell because you're not looking at the
Oh,
screen right now, but I'm looking at Cynthia.
That was an assumption on my part. However, when I brought up the fact, I asked him if he thinks she's ugly. He confirmed. So, I mean.
I did confirm because you asked me that directly.
Yeah. So my
Yeah,
assumption may have been premature, but like in the end it was.
Well, you
What
had
are you
already
showing us,
categorized me as mean.
Do you see it?
Wait, what are you showing us?
So baby crying.
Sobbing.
Do you have to move it the other? I can't see anything.
Can't see it over there?
What do you think of
That
her?
way, yep.
I think I've seen uglier people.
Okay, we're not asking about the other people.
So that means that
We're
she's
asking
ugly,
about
but
her.
you've seen uglier.
Hold on.
So that
I at
means
no
that there's
point,
three.
at no
I've seen
point did
prettier
I
and
ask
I've
you.
seen ugly.
But at no point did I ask you about the other people you've seen. I'm asking you specifically about her.
Based on the pictures that you sent, yes, I do think she's ugly.
Why
But
can't you
that's
say
so mean
something
to
like,
say.
you could say something like she's probably not photogenic.
But
or-
also she has shades on, so that's not like a complete picture of her.
Right.
Based
on
She's
this
the ugly-
picture.
her eyes are totally gonna change everything else.
How do I know her eyes aren't like honey colored, which is beautiful?
Well, let's put it this way. I'd be happy to like plop my head onto her body because that would solve a lot of my own problems.
Yeah, she looks. I mean, I want to give her a hug.
Man,
We have to social distance.
what, you're saying you have to social distance from Cynthia?
No, she said she wants to give her a hug.
Oh,
So bad.
I didn't hear her.
We are in the social distance era. Listen,
Did
there
you
are going to
think
be
we're
so
gonna
many
be-
people responding to the show with negativity towards Ish. They're going to be like, yo, that Ish guy.
Oh my god, this is recording, dude. You have to edit this entire section out, please.
No, I'll just slap a disclaimer on it, and we'll be okay.
He just messed up the whole Me Too era.
Oh, I don't think Ish showed the picture, so okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I didn't because it's a friend of mine and she could actually watch our show. So I didn't say her
Yeah,
name.
but if she watches it and you talk about the caption, she's gonna know that you're talking about her.
Yeah, but that's something that she can wear inside. It's if I was to say her name and show her picture, then
Yeah.
you know.
So I
That
hope
was-
the Jocelyn, the Catwoman, doesn't watch the show. 'Cause she's gonna be offended.
She's not a
They
civilian.
really call her Catwoman?
Sorry,
She look like a
Selena
cat.
Kyle.
Yeah. Catwoman. But yeah. Is she married?
Oh, Catwoman?
Your friend.
Why would she? Never
Ugly
mind.
one.
Why?
People are married for reasons. Jesus.
Yeah, but-
What did you just say? Why would she be married?
I didn't say that.
That's
started
so
to.
fucked up.
I started
Wait,
You
it did
started
sound-
to say that.
It did
I
It's like,
sound
did.
why would she be married? Did you see her? That's
I
so
did. I stopped because I already know what's
See,
coming
you
in my
know
way.
you're mean. That was really mean.
You almost like walked your ass right into that one.
I mean, I had every intention, and I'm like, you know what? The people that I'm dealing with right now, like, we are liberals, right? We are like we
I don't really like wearing that label. There's other better
hey,
words.
but you know, we lean to the left, right?
I mean, I'm definitely leaning. That's for sure. But
Like, what
why
are
can't
we
we
doing?
use?
What are we doing here?
We're gonna lose some of our aesthetically challenged viewers.
Oh.
And I don't think we want to lose them.
It's some girl sitting around with 3 teeth, like they ain't talking about me.
Aesthetically challenged viewers.
I would never ask somebody what they think about me. Ever.
That's not a fishing pole, is it?
Huh? No.
That wasn't a fishing
No,
pole. was it?
Ish, I don't want to know your opinion. No, I'm saying I never ask people because I'd rather not know.
What, you
I have
gotta-
my own opinions about myself, and if my friends are still hanging around, there must be some redeeming quality about me, you know. And
what
anybody
you're
else who
saying
doesn't
is
stick,
that you'd
then-
rather not know.
yeah.
That's
Just like I
specific
wouldn't
to
want my
me.
friends to ask me what I don't like about them, because I wouldn't want to tell them, because there
Yeah,
might
but
be
you be
things I don't
changing
like.
the question, right? Like
Huh?
Well,
what I
just,
don't like about them. Like that's changing the question.
She's going
No,
to
but when
a
someone,
darker
yeah,
place.
Cynthia, just wait till you're married. You'll get told every day what people don't like about you.
Wow.
I don't think that'll have ever happened, but
What,
it's
that
okay.
you'll ever get married, or that you'll
Yeah.
marry somebody who will tell you exactly what
I
they
don't
think
think I
about
can
you?
ever be married.
Well, that's an interesting segue.
Yeah, it's a beautiful segue. Why not, Cynthia?
I have been single so long that I just don't think I would be able to tolerate another human being enough.
You don't want to
Because I
forfeit.
feel like once you're old enough and you're still single, you're kind of like set in your ways. And like when you look for people, there's really no room to like grow with them.
You're well
It's
on the
like-
path to becoming a cat lady, is what you're saying.
No, I'm gonna get a dog next. But no, I just can't. Like even if I'm talking to somebody who, like casually dating, if they say one thing wrong, that's it. I don't want to see them ever again. Like I just don't want to tolerate it. I just
So you're picky.
yeah.
Some
Like why do I
people
want to
do
be
other-
with someone who annoys me, who says the wrong things, or like just doesn't act the way I want them to act? I'm perfectly fine being single. I can take care of myself. I have friends that I can hang out with, and
Yeah, well, on the flip side, being married doesn't mean like being blind or being dead.
well, yeah, but you can't act on anything if you're married. Well, you shouldn't. Could.
Well, unless you're poly.
Yeah, no, that's not for
Yeah.
me. I'd be too jealous. I'm a strictly monogamous person.
Typical women.
So you're the person that, on the one hand, can't tolerate someone, but would be extremely jealous.
Well, if I'm dating somebody, wait, what? What was your question?
You can't tolerate a significant other, but you would be extremely jealous if you had a significant other.
It's not that I can't tolerate a significant other. It's that I don't think I would be able to find somebody that I can tolerate 100%.
Well, I don't think anybody can find somebody that
No.
they can tolerate 100%.
I was about to say, that's probably never gonna happen.
Exactly. So I'm perfectly fine
Thank
being
God
single for as long as I need to until I find them, if they exist at all.
Thank
But
God
if
I'm
I
home
do
alone
find the
all day in
person-
doghouse.
Like when I start dating someone, like I put 100% of myself into it, and I don't really like talk to other people. I don't like look at other people, and I would expect the same from them, the same respect. And I feel like a lot of guys don't do that, especially in the early stages of dating.
Well, you're going to be sleeping.
I don't think people do
like,
that in the early stages.
I do.
You're going to be sleeping about a fourth to like a third of the time. So really, just find someone who you can tolerate like 2/3 of the time.
And then the rest of the time I'm at work, so like it's really 1/3 of the time.
Yeah,
It's only a
really
third of the time.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Here's
See?
the thing. Here's what you really learn whether you can tolerate someone or not is when you both have to be working from home at the same time.
Yep, I feel like a lot of divorces are going to happen because of quarantine.
And a lot of babies.
Divorces have happened.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yep.
babies and a lot of divorces.
No babies, no divorces for me.
That's
I came
good.
out unscathed.
Yeah, same here. I don't believe in babies. And
You have a child.
yeah, but she's not a baby.
Yeah, but
he
she
has
was
an
at one
adult.
point.
Yeah, a long time ago. When I believed in babies.
Oh my god.
Which
I
was
don't
in what,
believe
like
in babysitting
1995?
My daughter, yeah, 95.
Your daughter's gonna be, oh, she's still a teenager? No, she's an adult. She's 25 this year. Right?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Don't believe in
I can't
babies.
believe-
Holy shit, 325, boy.
Yep, she's 25 in like 4 or 5 days.
Holy
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, and she said she doesn't believe in babies either. So.
Now,
Or
Cynthia, as much as she would like to come to another wedding, sadly to say I will not be having one.
That's okay.
You're not married, Emily?
No, I am. Cynthia was there. She saw the whole thing.
Yeah. I love weddings. I love going to weddings. They're so fun. As long as I'm not part of the wedding party. Because I hear that's very stressful.
Going to weddings are stressful.
Huh?
Going to weddings are stressful.
No, they're not. You drink, you eat, you dance. How is that stressful?
You got to be in a suit for longer than you really want to be.
Well, I don't
Feel you
wear
on
a
that.
suit. I wear dresses.
What did I ever tell you the story, Cynthia, about how we almost lost my marriage license before it was signed?
No, what happened?
It fell behind a bookshelf, like in the room we were using to, like, that the girls were using to get dressed.
Uh-huh.
And we were like we were dead, like tearing apart the room trying to find the marriage license so we could actually like sign it.
I thought you have to get a marriage license before you get married, like before the wedding. It's like
No,
signed
we
before
did get it before the wedding, but like afterwards, like the spouses sign it and like people witness it.
Uh-huh.
So like Misha's friend and my friend, like, were as best man and maid of honor. Like, like their big job was to say that they witnessed the marriage and that we in fact were who we said we were, and that we in fact did actually want to be doing this.
Is it easy to get a marriage license?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
I have 5 of them.
You just got to pay the money.
5 of them? Are you
Shut up.
I dated this girl, right? And one day she called me and said, I'm coming to pick you up. We're gonna go out. So I'm like, okay, cool. She came pick me up. Next thing I know, we at City Hall.
What?
Now, me being the gentleman I am, I didn't say anything. All the way up to the point where we got to where we had to sign it, and then it was like, you know what?
I don't think
I want to do this.
Wait, was this a first date?
No, this was the first date. This was we were dating.
I was
during
gonna
the time.
say that was creepy. That would be
No,
creepy.
this is probably about a month and a half into it.
Oh my god, that is so soon.
It kind of
madness.
So, we continued to date after that, and
what?
during that process there were 4 other marriage certificates.
Holy shit, you are in high demand. Jesus Christ.
So I was like, nah, can't do it.
You're telling
Well, that
me
didn't work
5
out.
women tried to trick you into
No,
signing a marriage?
it was the same woman. The same woman.
Is this same woman your baby mama?
We have 2 kids together, yeah.
Are you guys married now, or you still
No.
don't want to get married?
No, we're not married now. She's married to somebody else now.
Oh, why didn't you want to marry her? If you continued to date her.
I should have asked myself that then, and I didn't. But I believe that it was a lot.
Do I know her?
You know her, yeah.
I love her, but I'm glad you didn't marry her.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't too.
I mean, hindsight is 20/20, but at the time you were still dating her, so
Yeah,
I
the
would
time I was
assume you
dating
thought
her-
there was a future.
But I always felt like she was into it for something other than love.
What would she? Okay, yeah, that's not the right reason to get married.
So it was like,
Was it because you guys had kids and she's like, oh, well, we should get married?
no.
Well, no, because it was a month and a half the first
No.
time she tried to do it.
The first time she tried. So after we had the 2 kids, then it
Why
was
would you
like-
even stick it in if she tried after a month and a half? That's really creepy.
Did you mean stick it out? She said stick it in.
Yeah,
That's probably
stick
what
it
you
in.
meant, huh?
No, why'd you stick it in? Why'd you have sex with her is what I'm saying, and have a kid with her? If she tried to trick you into marriage a month and a half into a relationship.
I don't know. I guess I was happy to have a girlfriend, I guess. I don't know.
He was thinking with his little head.
I was happy to have a girlfriend, I guess. I don't know. I really can't answer that.
But then after the first child, you still didn't want to marry her.
Okay,
You
so
should've-
after the first child, this is
Yeah.
what happened. after the first child, she was on birth control. So she got
Dude, you should have been a follower of my religion and not believed in babies.
Oh my god.
I should have. But she was getting an injection, so she stopped. And she never told me. So that's how we got the
So
sex.
she trapped you.
Yeah, that's so fucked up, dude.
Right.
That's so fucked up.
But it didn't. It worked out for the best. She's happily married. She found the guy that
She
loved.
tricked someone to marry her.
I don't know if she tricked him. I think that they kind of like each other.
Like each other or love each other?
Well, I think they're in love
They
with each
kind
other.
of like each other.
I think they kind of like each other. You know.
I mean, I like my cat. I'm not going to marry my cat.
That's illegal, Cynthia.
I love my cat. He's so cute.
But imagine if you loved them, but you didn't like them.
I can't. I've never been in that situation.
Right? That's a bad situation.
Yeah. I don't know
Not
what
a
that.
situation you want to have.
I don't think I'd be able to love someone without liking them.
You don't have any family members that you love but don't like?
No, I just don't love them.
Well, there's that.
The cutting board, huh?
Like for me, I mean, I don't view love as like something that's just like just given. You have to earn it.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
I can't be like, oh, I love my family, but like I hate them. It just doesn't work.
Well, we
like
didn't say hate. I didn't say hate.
Okay, fine. I can't say
Because-
that I love them but don't like them. Because if I don't
Okay.
like somebody, I hate them.
Well, I have family members, for instance, that I absolutely love, earned, developed over time, especially from youth. But I just don't like I wouldn't hang out with you.
So how do you love them?
Because
What is love to you?
Well, I define it by how I genuinely feel towards you. Like I would feel some type of way if you were gone.
I don't feel that way about people though. I feel I mean, it's not everybody, but
I think love is elastic. I think people can even be in love with more than one person.
well, if you define it that way, like if you are out of my life, I would definitely feel some type of way. Then yes, I do have family members that I guess you can say I love. I don't know. It's really hard to say. It's hard for me to separate love and like. I just feel like love is a stronger form of like. You can't get to love without liking somebody, you know? That's the way I view it.
I don't disagree. I just know that like all of the opposite feelings come along with it, right? Like the person that you feel like you can feel the most for, you can also feel the extreme opposite for.
How? Like people who have spouses that they love but they hate.
Well, think about this. Think about this, right?
Sometimes they drive you nuts.
Ideally, at least
with them all day.
Ideally, and at least for me, the only people that I can really argue with or get angry with or any type of emotion that leads to me arguing with is someone that I have an emotional investment in.
Okay.
Like if you're a stranger,
That's
stranger, there's nothing you can say to me that's going to bother me. Because I don't know you. You don't change the way the wind blows in my life. Understand what I'm saying? But if you're a friend that I love or a family member or someone that I have an emotional investment in, be it love or some other type of emotional investment in, then certainly you can provoke me to anger.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's the same thing, like what you're saying is how like the only one of like a couple of people that I've ever had like horrible, like dragged out arguments with has been my own mother. Like,
do you love her?
I do, and we talk all the time, but you know, if we still lived together, we'd kill each other. Like that's all there is to it.
Like I'll give you an example. Like my mom, I love my mom. Like my mom is one of the greatest moms that anyone can ever have. But she's very shady because, and I recognize this as I got, like as a person, I wouldn't like her with the exception that you're my mom and you've been the great, like I have no reason not to like you. However, there's so many things about her that I don't like because I recognize, like my mom was the youngest of 8, you know, born in Tupelo, Mississippi. My mom was born in 1952, the youngest of 8. So my mom is brilliant. Like she has several master's degrees. She's out of the 8, she's the only one, and she's smarter than all of her brothers and sisters. And such. She was very manipulative. my mom can be very manipulative and because she's smarter than a lot of people, like most people in her circle. She's just a really very intelligent person, and she can be very shady and very manipulative. And me and my sister often talk about it. She's not that way to us. You know what I mean? She was a single mom who raised us. My mother was awesome. Awesome. However, I've seen her interact with other people, her brothers and sisters. I've seen how she's done them and manipulated them because she was smarter than them and because she could, or because she held a grudge, and because of it, like, she'll go to the extreme, and she's more capable than they are, at least on a mental playing field. And those are things about my mom that I don't like, and I would tell her as much. Like, if you weren't my mother, I wouldn't like you as a person, but I absolutely love you because you've never been that way towards me or towards my sister or towards my, you know what I mean? Like, ever. That's my mom. She's been nothing but awesome.
That's
but
a good example.
You know, I can definitely separate the feelings that I have for my mom and evaluate her plainly, matter of factly, and come to these conclusions and be like, huh, you know, I see why you keep a small circle. And like, my mom will turn on you and then do you dirty if you cross her. And from a malicious perspective, and will hold a grudge for years. And
oh my God, that's like me. Not that I'm.
No, but you will hold a grudge for years.
But I wouldn't trade my mom for any other mom, or the experiences that I had with my mom, or the things that she taught me. I wouldn't trade that for, you know what I mean? I wouldn't choose another mom if I could.
I mean, I kind of see, yeah, I do know what you mean. Like my own mom has her own issues. Like, I love her to death, but she probably has an undiagnosed personality disorder, and it causes her to be like downright hypercritical and nasty to people sometimes. And that's why I would get into it with her, because I would just be like, you know, oh my God, like, I'm not going to take that shit. You don't talk to me like that. No one talks to me like that. And my dad, like, literally till the day he died, would like try to get her to go realize that she had a problem, and she refused to admit it. And then when my dad passed, like, I kind of had to like kind of just drop it and be the bigger person and just put up with her. So that's kind of like how it's been for a while now, but doesn't mean I agree with, like, doesn't mean I like how she talks to people, doesn't mean that I would get along with her like at all if we weren't related, because I would have problems with how she treats people.
Your mom?
Yeah. No, I was just saying, I think she can't help it. Like, I think she has like some form of OCD, like where everything has to be just so, and she criticizes, like, she'll criticize me if I have like a rabble on my pants or some shit like that. Like something minor, but I don't think she can help it, you know what I mean? So I kind of gotten to the point where I just put up with it. That's what I said. I didn't tolerate it, but I kind of had to learn to tolerate it without my dad around, because you know, he would always like balance her. He would balance her out. Like, he was always like my dad was always kind of like, if like the yin to her yang. Like, he was the calm one.
Yeah.
So, and he would always be the one to calm me down when I would argue with my mom. But then, like, without him around, I kind of just had to be, all right, there's no buffer here. I got to be the bigger person and just put up with her.
Now, I'm
keep
sorry.
going. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Cynthia, I will co-sign your sentiments though, because like, I can give you an example. For instance, I quite like my father, but I don't love him. But I like him.
So what makes you not love him but like him?
Well, because my father didn't raise me. Like, when I was 2, he was gone. So I didn't really get to know, get to kind of know who he was until I was an adult. So I don't know, early 2000s, when my grandmother died, his mother. So that's when I kind of got to know him, and we just kind of had a conversation, and it was like, well, you're not going to be my father. I'm a grown man with a you know, a teenage, or not, she wasn't a teenage at the time, with a daughter. Like, I'm grown You know, I've been married,
With an
been in the
elementary school
military.
kid.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be my father starting now, but
Yeah.
we
became
can
a father before you knew your
be
father.
friends.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? We can
Why
get to
would
know
you
each other and
even?
be friends.
But why do you like him? A guy
Because,
that abandoned you and your family? How can
well,
you
he didn't
like someone?
abandon me. Him and my mom got divorced, and I guess he abandoned
Oh,
me. I guess he abandoned me in the sense that, like, he never had anything to do with us. But
that's
that's not like, I didn't. The thing is, what made it easy, and same for my sister. You know, me and my sister grew up very close. My mother had 8 brothers and sisters. We had my grandfather, my grandmother, his mother was very, very. It's an interesting story. So my father just never kind of had anything to do with us. You know, he was just kind of like a rolling stone, so to speak. So, but the thing is, I never felt like I didn't have a father. My mother wasn't my father. She couldn't replace him or anything like that. But I just never. It never occurred to me that I needed to have a father. It never occurred to me that I was missing anything. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of life that me and my sister had. So it just never occurred. So by that time, when my grandmother died, you know, it was already a difficult situation because my grandmother had went out of her way. She lived in Ohio. We lived in New York. All of my father's side of the family lived in Ohio. But my grandmother had gone out of her way to make sure she knew me and my sister. She just would go out of her way. Now, mind you, my grandmother was the type of person that she would get tired of her family. So she would just disappear. Nobody would know where she was. Like, she'd just go to Atlanta for 6 months and call my mother and let my mother know that's where she was at. This is my father's mother. Nobody else would know. And she'd just be there for 6 months.
so
And
that's
she
just
did
like
this,
runs in the family.
right. Heard of them because they, like, you know,
Right.
all of her children were there, and she had like 7 children. Now, my father was a product of rape. Like, my grandmother got raped, and she
Oh my
just
God.
kept my father. So, you know, she loved him. She kept him. You know what I mean? She loved him. So, but all of her children were like mooches. You know what I mean? She owned a lot of property. Her ex-husband left her a lot of property. She had money, and her children were grown, and they just kind of like leached off of her, so to speak. So she would just get tired and leave. And she'd call my mom and be like, listen, I'm in Atlanta, or I'm in Flint, Michigan, or she done been several places. So in early 2000, 2002, my grandmother came here and stayed with my sister, and nobody knew where she was. And she died while she was here. So like, me and my sister had to, like, take her body to Ohio, tell her children, listen, your mom was here with us and she died. And so it was like a really difficult situation because her children, like, these are her children. They love their mom, you know, and they're never going to get to make their peace with her because she died. Like, she kind of ran away from them and died. And they had a real problem with us, like a real problem, because, like, who are y'all? We know your names, but we don't even know who you are. And you guys show up in Ohio, and like, we set up everything, funeral arranged, like everything. Me and my sister did it all. Like, we just took care of everything. You know what I mean? There was a will reading. We was like, everything was left to me and my sister. We just gave it all. We were like, we don't even want it because we just felt kind of bad. You know what I mean? Like, you got like 7 kids and everything is going to me and my sister. Everything. Everything she owned, her house, and she had 2 houses that they had built into one house. So she had this it was huge, like, everything was left to us, and we just was like, we don't want it. Like, we just loved our grandmother. You know what I mean? Like, all this other stuff. But my father was there. You know what I mean? And that's when, like, we just talked. You know what I mean? And he was like, you know, I want to make so you don't gotta apologize to me about anything. Like, you just don't. I'm not, like, trust me. I'm a big boy. I done been there, done that. You know, I done deployed with the military. Like, I'm not worried about you apologizing or none of that. So we just had a conversation. It was just kind of like, you know, I would like to try to be your father. And I was like, you can't be, but we can be friends. We can, like, get to know each other, and, you know what I mean, and be friends. And that's just kind of where it is. So based upon that, after kind of getting to know him a little bit, I like him. Like, he's a cool dude. You know what I mean? He's cool. I'm good with him.
Do you think it would ever evolve into, like, you loving him? Or do you still hold that grudge even though you say
I don't have a grudge.
Oh.
I really don't. It's just that we're not friends, close enough friends that absolutely, if we were closer friends, meaning like you live in another state, you got your own family. However, if we were closer in proximity perhaps, or spoke more often, I'm sure I could do it. Like, I love my friends. Yeah. Genuinely. Which is why I keep a small circle, because I have a high capacity to care. I will invest. You understand what I'm saying? So within, because of that, like, absolutely. If the situation or circumstances were different, I could certainly love you. You understand what I'm saying? But because they're not, I don't have that feeling. Like, he got sick. He got sick like 2 or 3 years ago.
That's like the same way I view relationships. I have very high standards because I'm willing to throw 100% of myself at somebody. And that's why I will continue to have high standards, because if I'm dating you, I'm not talking to, like, from date number 1, I'm not going to be talking to other people. I'm going to see how this goes, play it out, and if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, then I'll move on.
Well, see, I'm the opposite, because if I'm single, and I've often said this, if I was single, I probably would just sleep with you rather than date you, because I don't like going through the process. Developing a relationship involves vulnerability.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to make yourself vulnerable to the other person and vice versa, with the understanding that they are going to protect that vulnerability. And that process, to me, really sucks.
Yeah,
like, it's got to be with the right person. You know what I mean? Or you
that's what I'm saying.
Wasted your time. You know what I mean? It really sucks.
Put it this way. Thank God some of us lucked out and got it over with before, like, online dating became a thing.
Exactly. Now the options are endless, and guys think that they're better than they actually are. Fuck them.
Wow, that's what we're doing here.
I guess that's what we were taking.
That's what we going. She like curveball.
Cynthia is being a man hater.
She's like curveball. Constructive conversation. People are actually watching and learning from this. Here's the curveball.
It's true though. So many guys are like, I want this and this in a woman. I'm like, you can't even carry a conversation. What the fuck? Like, no, you're not going to get like a top quality woman if you can't even,
That's not what they want. They just want a hole.
If you can't even handle some spice, if you can't handle some banter, some like opposing opinions. You don't know how to like ask questions. Like, get the fuck out of here.
That's what guys want.
Ladies and gentlemen in YouTube land, I violated all kind of Me Too stuff earlier. Now it's on Cynthia and Emily. It's their turn. Clearly, it's their turn. I don't want all kind of feedback with people just lashing at me.
See, all I said was that certain guys are just looking for a hole.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That does not mean all guys.
You didn't say certain the first time.
There's a lot of guys named Tom that are probably going to be listening to this that are going to be feeling some type of way.
As someone who's been in the dating game for a really long time, trust me. Guys are human trash.
So you're worried specifically about guys named
Guys
Tom?
are what?
Not all of them, but like a lot of them are.
Are what? What? Say it again.
Human trash.
For the people in the back.
Human trash. Guys.
Not all.
Out there, guys.
Not all of them, but
Not all of you, but a large quantity of you are human trash.
No.
This is why you're single and you're not getting a top quality woman. Because you're human trash.
I can't co-sign on that though, because I can't co-sign on that because, like.
And you're not even in a hefty bag, guys. You're in those wimpy bags.
I can't.
They're reusable grocery store bags that they give you.
Oh no, not the reusables.
See, my problem was always like, I was I was either friend zoned, the guy was gay, or both.
Mm-hmm.
So you were attracted to gay guys?
A lot of them are pretty fucking hot.
So now I got to tell a story.
Tell us a
Please
story.
do share.
I had a few rounds when I was like a teenager of always managing to be attracted to guys who ended up like having a few more skeletons in their closet than I was aware of.
Disclaimer. We need to put out a disclaimer here.
Not real skeletons.
I love the LGBT community. I'm an ally.
Well,
I also.
I'm in no position to talk any smack about the LGBT community.
I just, I know people are in this day and age, they might hear you say skeletons and be like, oh, so she's saying skeletons. You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess that's true. I don't really think about that stuff because, like, that kind of stuff doesn't offend me, but a lot of stuff doesn't offend me that offends other people, so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
okay,
I guess.
let's get the story.
Well, oh, damn. Now I gotta say it.
You had a round of them.
Now I gotta say it. My innocence was destroyed by a gay man.
Okay, what does this mean? What does this mean?
She lost her
Story
virginity
gets more
to a gay
interesting
man.
here.
Yeah.
So he wasn't gay in that moment. I never heard it said that way. My innocence was just, it's like saying my apple was picked. My apple was
sounds like a
plucked.
book.
My cherry was, okay, fine. My cherry was popped by a gay guy who wasn't apparently gay in that moment.
Mm.
If you want me to be crude about it.
Wow.
Okay, that's the story.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
No moral to this story, huh? Just
Oh no, just that it wasn't the first or probably the last time that's ever gonna happen to me.
or
I hope that's
probably
the last time. What are you talking
Wait,
about?
aren't you? What do you mean?
Are
Or
you married?
I'm not blind. Come on.
But you said losing your virginity to a gay guy, that's not going to be your
Well,
last
I'm
time.
not.
What?
Okay. I'm not. People don't lose their virginity multiple times.
Yeah. But that also implies that that won't be the last time you have sex with a gay man. You're married, Emily. What do you mean?
What if Misha decides he's gay? I don't know.
So does it really count?
Huh?
Does it really count because he was gay? Would that really be your actual first?
Wait, what?
That's a good question.
Would that be her actual first because he was gay?
Of course! Sex is sex. Doesn't matter what their sexual orientation is.
Oh, we killed Ish.
Oh, did he drop off?
Yeah, you dropped off for a sec.
We killed Ish with my discussion of gay men's sexuality.
Probably lost sex.
Yeah, I'm joking, Cynthia. Joking. But that's an interesting philosophical question, though. Does it count if it's with the gay guy? I say yes, because
Of course
it
it
happened.
counts. Sex is sex, yeah. Oh, man. That hurt. I'm getting old.
Oh, shut up.
He's killing me.
You're the youngest, aren't you?
Cynthia, read the room.
You don't know that. You don't know how old I am.
I know
can't
how old
assume.
you are.
Well, no,
Shut
you
up.
appeared, by appearance, you look to be the youngest out of all of us.
Asians don't raisin. I'm 50 years old.
You're 50?
No. She thinks she's being funny.
Let's just stick with it. Yes.
What person besides
I just
you?
want to know, I just want your diet plan. That's all. And what type of water you drink?
Katie, do you live in Buffalo?
I do.
Oh, okay. How do you know Ish?
For this year, I do. I've known Ish for
My phone died during all the juicy stuff.
Your phone died while we were talking
multiple
about
decades.
Wow.
Say again? What I miss?
I asked Katie how he knows you.
Multiple decades.
Really?
Yep. Yeah.
Were you guys in service together?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
Were you in
But we
elementary
but
school?
we
didn't
did
know each
serve
other.
together.
Yeah, we didn't serve together.
Wait,
We didn't
what?
know each other. We didn't serve together.
I
We
thought
didn't
you
know
just
each
said
other
you
while
did.
we were in service.
Huh?
Yeah, it was a turn of phrase.
Double entendre.
So we've known each other, a long time.
A long time.
Would you say you love each other?
I love Katie.
course.
Aww.
It's like my brother.
That's family.
Yeah.
Do you live near each other?
No.
Oh.
Cynthia,
did.
you're so nosy.
Yes, I'm nosy. I want to
We
know
actually
everything.
used to stay right behind each other.
Huh?
At one point.
Yeah.
At one point, we stayed right behind each other.
Was that a joke?
No,
No.
we lived very close to each other at one point.
Oh.
Very-
I was like, I don't know if I'm just not getting it. Okay.
No, but I've known Flavius just as long.
Are you serious? Wait, Flav, you've known these two for a long time?
Yeah, very.
How do you
long
know
time.
each other?
From
I was in college with Flavius.
Oh, okay.
And
Holy shit.
KD and Flav were a part of a circle that I was on the outside of, but a dude that I grew up with since I was like 5 was in their circle. So then I just kind of like, by virtue of hanging out with him, started hanging out with them, and we all kind of bonded like family.
And look at you, decades later, still going strong.
Decades later.
That's the thing about men. Like, it's just so easy for them to like build a friendship and remain friends no matter like what. Whereas women, like, I feel like I've gone through plenty of like female friends. It's just like a lot cattier, you know? I feel like it's
You
a
said
lot
I just
easier
ran
for me
through
to-
them.
Huh?
You said you just ran through your female friends.
No, not that I ran through. It's just like
Cynthia,
sometimes
you've
if there's
known
like
me
a
for
big
13
issue.
years.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I got
That's
it. I just want to say really quick and then give the floor back. Emily, I love that shirt.
Yeah, that
Oh,
shit.
the Green Lantern.
Yeah, that shirt is dope. You should join my Facebook group.
With
not in
shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
What is the Facebook group? I love Green Lantern.
For comic book geeks.
Ah,
It's called Comic Sense.
Joey and I
from
were going back.
1995,
Joey and I were going back and forth on Facebook today. I was trying to correct him on his dogma references.
Oh yeah.
Joey missed a Kevin Smith reference. How dare he?
That's right. We have EMZ.
How
EMs.
dare he? Because
She's EMZ, like TMZ,
Oh,
I know everything.
but she's EMZ.
all the pop culture, all the
Yeah.
scandal.
Well, I'm on vacation, so I might not hear too much from the kids for a couple weeks, but
Speaking of which, I have a request
what?
for Flav.
So
Do you have any exciting and non-whack trivia for us today?
exciting and non-whack. Yo, how did you know that was my specialty?
Oh, because you're that dude.
I specialize in exciting and non-whack. That's actually the name of my entertainment company. Exciting and non-whack entertainment.
Oh, because the last time we did trivia, the Seinfeld was good. It was just super long.
It was so long.
That was
And the
crazy.
other
I didn't
one-
know it was going to be 40 minutes of trivia.
And
40 minutes
and
of videotape trivia. It made it
the first-
good because it was a whole session.
And the first one, while relevant, was like, really?
The second
I
one,
gotta,
you mean?
Oh
the first
yeah,
one.
it was all.
It was
No,
relevant, but it's like, man,
The Black Trivia was the second one.
That was the
no,
first
Seinfeld
one.
that
was
was
the
the
first.
first one.
No,
Oh.
Seinfeld was second.
Okay. The first one was
The Black Trivia.
no.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
Was it?
It was very depressing.
first
very
one with this
informative,
group.
but
The first one with this group. Okay, you're right.
it was informative though, Flav. Thanks.
But it was really
just
depressing.
Kind of depressing. It's something that.
Well, I mean, hey, sorry that Black history is depressing to y'all, but we had to do what we had to do. That being said, we're not going to go back to it right away, you know. But that one is going to be in the memory banks. We did that. That was us.
What?
While these other characters were out there joking and, you know, doing the juicy stuff.
We were
had
talking
to do
about
the
Ahmaud
hard work.
Arbery being shot by.
We did the history of the whole modern era of cop on black violence.
Police brutality.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We did the whole
Did you
modern
see
era
the issue of
history.
Miles Morales Spider-Man I posted on my Facebook page?
Yeah, I think I've seen a few.
I did see that.
Which one was
Which
that?
one?
Well, the one that's particularly hot for the sole reason that it's got Miles Morales being kind of brutalized by the police on the cover.
Oh, I don't know if I saw that.
Oh
one yet.
yeah.
It's from 2016. It's called the Police Brutality issue,
Okay.
and it for that reason alone, like the book is flaming hot. People have been trying to find it and scoop it up. I thought it was just telling, you know, being that, you know, it's Miles Morales and, you know, he's on the cover being brutalized by the cops, and because of that, people want to, you know, pay a premium for that book.
Do you collect comic books?
Not at all.
Oh,
Not at all.
I just kind of like buy them and put them in bags and boards and put them in boxes, but not for
that's
collecting
collecting
purposes.
them, dude.
Sarcasm, Cynthia.
Yes, I do.
Do you have any like mint condition comic books that are worth like $100,
I have,
$200, $400, $1,000?
I have every comic book I own is in mint condition, and many of them are worth thousands of dollars.
Mint as in unopened?
Mint as in graded by a professional grading company and encased, never to be opened
Jesus
again,
Christ.
and worth thousands of dollars.
Oh my God.
That's what I was busy with when you guys were like, get on, we're having a good conversation. I'm sending several very expensive books to get graded to get autographed and graded at CGC sometime this week, and I had to I was getting them ready.
Wow. Sounds
And
like a
it
very serious hobby.
It is. It's my attempt to leave more real wealth to my daughter when I'm gone.
Okay, that's nice of you.
I have
That's
a lot
what
of
life
historical,
insurance is for.
yeah, but I want to leave. You know, I have a lot of historical pieces, and again, as I said to somebody recently, Black people, brown people, it's something we just haven't had an opportunity to do until recently in history. Actually accumulate, you know, things of value and pass them on to our, you know.
Mhm.
Right.
So
Like
it's kind of
heirlooms.
important to
Yeah.
me.
Besides, Cynthia, you missed the memo. God is supposed to be everyone's life insurance.
What?
She said, "Do you
Yeah.
collect comic books?"
No, I never told. Did I ever tell you that story, Cynthia, about the pastor?
Oh, about
that I
the
had?
and your
the
dad?
The pastor and my dad, where the pastor was trying to say that he wasn't going to buy life insurance because God was his life insurance, and my dad like lost his shit on the pastor and was like, "What
I
the
remember
hell
that.
is wrong with you, man?" It's like, yeah, maybe God will take care of you, but what about your wife and kids?
Fuck them. He'll be dead.
Apparently, God will take care of them too.
So Mike has some exciting non-whack trivia for us.
Oh, right. That's what I was supposed to be looking at.
Is this going to be White Lives Matter trivia?
You know, I applaud your attempts at humor. I really do. But
What about Asian lives?
Asian lives do
You
matter.
matter, but you're not on fire.
And you know what? We're not going to do that because nobody wants to seem too woke nowadays. They don't want to. They don't want to.
Are you Asian, Cynthia?
No.
Okay, because I could have swore you were Italian.
Well, is Troy Chen Chinese?
Who's Troy Chen?
Oh, yeah, you never saw that. It was a sketch I saw on TV.
Let me
like,
Google this.
It was
Troy
an
Chen.
impractical. It was an impractical Joker sketch where he was trying to where one of the guys was trying to ask people in a cafe how he could politely ask his friend named Troy Chen if he was Chinese.
Uh-huh.
And then one of the crew members came in as playing Troy Chen, except Troy Chen was black. And the last line of it is, "Troy, are you Chinese?" Yeah. I got Sam the other day.
Show.
What's that?
I said I love that show.
No, I love that show too.
Okay, you ready for some trivia?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some trivia.
We should have some prizes.
I vote no vegan trivia.
I'll do vegan trivia.
You've been outvoted.
Yeah, you've been.
It was just you and me. It was 50-50.
Yeah, well, KD has a vote too.
I get 60% because I spoke up first.
I could say something very wrong, but I won't.
Okay, so all right.
Why not? I have ironclad feelings.
Let's do vegan trivia.
Let's not.
Well, actually, wait, hold on. Okay, so Iron Man. What song plays at the beginning of the movie?
How about Iron Man?
Dude, it's not multiple choice.
How about I Am Iron Man?
Iron Man by Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
Back in Black by AC/DC. Ordinary World by Duran Duran, or Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin.
I'm gonna say AC/DC.
I'm gonna say Iron Man by Black Sabbath.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Iron Man.
I think that actually plays at the end.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think? It's Back in Black?
What are the other choices?
Back in Black by AC/DC, Ordinary World by Duran Duran, Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin.
I'm gonna go with Ordinary World.
That's a tough one.
And Cynthia, you said Back in Black, right?
Whatever was AC/DC.
Yeah, that's Back in Black.
Okay, yeah.
I know. I'm gonna go with Ordinary World.
I go with Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath, Iron Man. All right, so everyone's got two except for Black Sabbath. I'm going to go with Black Sabbath as well. And that's wrong. The answer was Back in Black by AC/DC.
Yeah!
I knew Iron Man played at the end of the movie, and just barely.
Yeah.
I just remember it being in the movie.
All right, keep track
I've never
of your
seen
points.
the movie, so I'm happy I got it right.
Can you put up a little board that puts our points up?
Who?
The Incredible Hulk. What does Tony tell Thaddeus Ross at the end of the film? A, that he wants to study the Hulk, that he knows about S.H.I.E.L.D., B, C, that they're putting a team together, or D, that Thaddeus owes him money?
C.
That they're putting a team together? All right, so A was, so the question is, what does Tony tell Thaddeus Ross at the end of the film? Answer A was that he wants to study the Hulk. B is that he knows about S.H.I.E.L.D. C is that they are putting a team together. And D is that Thaddeus owes him money.
I'm going to say C.
I think it's C.
I'm going to go with C as well.
C for me too.
See? That's correct, that they're putting a team together.
Yes. Killing it.
Does everybody see the scoreboard?
Yeah, I think everyone has
Cynthia
like
has
1
2.
point.
No, Cynthia has
Yeah.
2 points.
Okay.
I think
I got
KD
two.
has
I got
2.
one.
I don't think this is fair. We should have went with the vegan one. I have an advantage here.
Yeah, we should have gone with the vegan one for sure.
Oh, I mean, we could do some here, some over there. We can switch it up. I don't know how long this one is. Iron Man 2. What fake name does Natasha use when she first meets Tony? Natalie Rushman, Natalia Romanoff, Nicole Rohan, or Naya Rave?
I go with Romanoff.
See?
I think it's B.
You also think
C.
that's Romanoff.
C.
You think it's Nicole Rohan.
Yeah,
C
I
as
think
well.
Nicole Romanoff.
Wait, you think what?
I think it's
C?
Nicole Romanoff.
You mean Natalia Romanoff?
Natalia
Natalia.
Romanoff.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
her
it
real
is.
name. Oh, never mind.
No, her real name is Natasha.
Okay, anyone else? Is that everyone?
Yes.
I feel like I should just go with what Ish says on these because I know he's a comic book
Yeah, but
guy.
I don't know this answer because Iron Man 2 sucked.
All right, I'm going to go with Natalia Romanoff as well. I'm going to go B.
I'm going C.
So the answer was actually the answer nobody picked. A, Natalie Rushman.
Ah, interesting.
Should have gone with my gut feeling. I thought it
Yeah, I
was
was about to say,
Natasha.
don't go with me on this one because I didn't know that answer.
Thor. What does Thor want another of when he's in the diner? A slice of pie, a piece of toast, a stack of pancakes, a cup of coffee.
Stack of pancakes.
I think
C.
it's a stack of pancakes.
I've never seen these movies. I'm just guessing.
I'm going with pie.
What
KD.
was the choices again, Mike?
A slice of pie, a piece of toast, a stack of pancakes, a cup of coffee.
I mean, you just picked the worst 2 movies in the whole MCU.
Coffee.
Yeah, really?
I'm going
Yeah, I
with
wanted
coffee.
to think coffee too.
I'm gonna
That's
go
what
with
I was
coffee.
thinking too. All right, I'm going to go with coffee.
I'm going with pie.
Pie. And we got 1 or 2 stacks of pancakes.
2.
2. Okay, so it's 2, 2, and 2. Yeah, we were correct. Cup of coffee.
Damn it!
Who said coffee?
Me and KD.
Gotcha.
Okay, Captain
I didn't
America.
even know the answer. I just chose what I would get.
Yeah, I thought I remembered them refilling his coffee or something. I don't know. Captain America, the First Avenger. Where does Peggy tell Steve she wants to meet him for a dance before he plunges into the ice? Was it the Cotton Club, the Stork Club, El Morocco, or the Copacabana?
D.
I think
Which
it's
was
A.
Stork Club.
Is that Stork or Stark?
Stork. We've got A, B, and D so far. We've got one
What
for
are the
the
options?
Cotton Club, one for the Stork Club. No one said El Morocco, and the last one's the Copacabana. We got one for that one as well.
I have no clue. I'm gonna go with El Morocco.
All right, I'm going with the Cotton Club. I think that's 2 for that. Did anyone say Stork?
I said
think-
Stork Club.
1 for El Morocco, and then 1 for Copacabana?
Yeah, 2 for A and then 1 for each
It
of the
was
rest.
the Stork Club. It was the one nobody guessed.
No, KD did.
Well,
No,
said-
KD did.
Was that you did?
Yeah, I said that.
Oh, okay. The Stork Club. All right. Because it sounds like Stark. The Avengers. Natasha remarks to Clint that the Battle of New York is a lot like what? Their time in Budapest, their time in Prague, their time in Istanbul, their time in Sokovia.
B.
I think it's A.
Yeah, I feel like it's Budapest. Yeah, I feel like it's Budapest.
This is a trick question. Hold on a second.
Or is it Istanbul?
It doesn't matter. It's a trick question because they threw Sokovia in there. I don't know the answer. I'm going with Prague.
Prague, okay. Me and Katie said Budapest. What'd you say, Cynthia?
Budapest too.
Oh, you said Budapest. Okay. And what'd you say, Cynthia?
Prague.
Prague. Okay. So Budapest is the correct answer.
Oh.
So that's, yeah, me, KD.
These stupid Marvel movies.
Okay. Iron Man 3. What is the name of the little boy Tony befriends
Worst movie.
while stranded? Harry, Henry, Harley, or Holden?
Holden.
Harry.
D.
I'm gonna say Henry.
I'm going to say Henry as well.
Yeah, I don't remember this.
You remember the little kid who kept bugging him, and he ended up giving him like a garage full of like science supplies? Kid grew up and went to his funeral.
I don't know. Maybe I watched it a long time ago.
It was a dumb movie, so if you don't remember it, I understand.
Which one? Who was the big bad guy in that?
The fake Mandarin.
Oh, okay. Iron Man 3. What is the name of the little boy? All right, I'm gonna go Henry. And Henry was wrong. It was Harley. Nobody picked
We
Harley.
were all wrong.
Yeah.
What was Harley? C?
Harley was C. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay. Thor: The Dark World. Where
Oh
do
my God! This is just all the
This is
bad
a
Marvel
terrible movie.
movie lists, like all the ones that nobody watched more than once because they all suck.
Where do Sif and Volstagg hide the Reality Stone at the end of the movie? On Vormir, in a vault on Asgard, inside Sif's sword. They give it to the Collector.
C.
Okay, you think it's inside Sif's sword?
Yeah.
You also
Yeah,
think
I
it's
think it's
inside
C.
Sif's sword? And
Yes,
another
sir.
for inside Sif's sword?
It's in a vault on Asgard.
D, they give it to the Collector. And the right answer is D. They give it to the Collector.
Can we do another trivia?
I'm
You want
I'm
to do a
with
vegan?
Cynthia.
You want
I'm
to do
with
a vegan trivia?
Huh?
No, I didn't say that.
Someone
two
where
are to-
a trivia where we all have like an equal.
All right, so not a vegan trivia then?
I mean, I'll do it, but they don't want to do it.
Mike,
No, I mean-
I thought we were going with exciting and non-whack.
We should
I
do
don't
like
know,
a
you
general knowledge.
You two
trivia.
kept asking for
General
vegan
knowledge trivia.
I like general knowledge.
Yeah.
Because then we all have the same. I don't know.
Vantage point.
Same playing field. Yeah.
Do we want to
But
start
like
over?
do animals.
It should be who's uglier, A or B.
Stop.
All right, ready?
Oh.
Ooh, that'd be
All right.
fun. That's so mean. This is
All right,
recorded.
how about some 80s? How about some 80s trivia? How about that?
80s? Come on. I wouldn't know that.
We got one that's too young.
Right, because you're 12.
Shut up.
Yes,
Let's
please.
do 90s trivia.
90s trivia?
Yeah.
YouTube world, don't be fooled by the person who says they wouldn't know 80s trivia.
I was born at like the tail end of the 80s.
You were born at the literal tail end of the 80s.
Remember, she said she was 50, you two, bro.
Obviously, I'm not 50.
And Italian.
Yeah, I don't know any of. Okay, you ready?
I can sum all 90s trivia up in like a few words.
Backstreet Boys.
Puff
I
Daddy,
don't know. This one's not very good.
Jim Carrey,
Yo, Jim Carrey movies were shit back then.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective Part 2.
The Mask.
That was like the best.
Yeah, the bad.
Guano.
Yeah, that was so crazy. I remember seeing that in the theater. I couldn't
Such
stop.
a-
I was laughing so hard.
Saying what?
Oh no,
When
the
they were-
funniest part is when he sees that that woman in fur and he's like and he knocks that guy out and uses him as like a fur coat. Oh my god.
No, when they were greeting each other, and the guy just spit in his face.
He's like, let me show you how much I care. Or when he came out of the rhino because it was like too hot and that family he's looking at him.
He got beat up by the
Okay,
pig.
all right, ready? All right, question 1. Which is the only A Tribe Called Quest album to feature Jerobi White as a member of the group? Is it 1, The Low End Theory, 2, People's Instinctive Travels and the Paths of Rhythm, 3, Beats, Rhymes, and Life, or 4, The Love Movement?
1.
Paths of Rhythm.
I'll say 1, 2.
Yeah, I'll say 1.
Was 1 the first album, Low End Theory? Was that their first album?
I thought Low End Theory was the first album. That's why I went with 1.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Or was it People's Instinctive Travels and the Paths of Rhythm?
I think that was the first album.
I'm just guessing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with that one because I think it's the first album. All right, we got 2 for that, and everything else is 1, right? That was correct.
What was correct?
People's Instinctive Travels and the Paths of Rhythm. White left the group after People's Instinctive Travels and the Paths of Rhythm to attend culinary school.
So,
Robbie White.
Who gets points?
That would be me and KD.
Okay.
I'd leave after that whack album too.
That album was whack.
Yeah, Low End Theory was dope though.
Low End Theory was the album.
What was the first officially released song Nas appeared on? Was it Back to the Grill, One Love, Halftime, or Live at the Barbecue?
Live at the Barbecue.
Yeah, no, I think it's Live at the Barbecue.
Wasn't it with Aknell?
I think so. I think that's the one.
Yep.
And then I think his next one was like Back to the Grill. So that's correct. So that would be me, Ish, KD, and
Emily.
And Emily.
Yep.
Released in 1991, main sources Live at the Barbecue also featured large Professor Joe Fatal and Akinelli.
Akinelli,
Wait, sorry.
older brother of Machiavelli.
Wait, was that a question? I thought you were just
Yeah,
reading.
was that a question? I thought you were reading.
No. Eric B. and Rakim's Know the Ledge appeared on what film's soundtrack? Was it Juice, Boys in the Hood, Above the Rim, or New Jersey Drive?
B.
You think it was Boys in the Hood?
I think it's C.
You think it was Above the Rim?
Above the Rim.
And you also
I think it was
Above the Rim?
Juice.
Yeah, I think it was Juice too. I think it was Juice. That's 2 for Juice. Yes, it was Juice.
You
Juice
got the
featured
juice now,
Tupac
man.
Shakur
That's the
as
dumbest line
Roland
in the
Bishop
movie.
in the rapper's debut starring performance.
With
Yeah,
the
film might have opened
dumbest
up on
line
that one.
in black film history. You got the juice now, man.
Yeah, until somebody says it to you, then all of a sudden you're like, damn.
No, I'm like,
I do got
please.
the juice.
No. I'm like, what kind of juice? Because I love juice. Does it have carbonated soda in it? Because I love it that way.
Coca-Cola, please.
No, it's got to be like, you can't put Coca-Cola in fruit juice.
Oh no.
You could. It
shouldn't.
just might not
You
taste
could.
good.
No,
Yeah.
it's gotta be like Fanta or something.
But yeah, any white pop or fruit pop.
Right.
Oh, I
Which,
forget. I
which
forgot.
female
people in
MC
Buffalo
had a hit
pop.
with Roughneck in 1993?
MC Light?
Was it Queen Latifah? Was it Yo-Yo, Lady of Rage, or MC Light?
Queen
MC
Latifah.
Light.
No, I think it's.
All right, you say it was Queen Latifah.
I don't know any of these
Katie
names.
said it was MC Light. Ish said it was MC Light.
I said it was MC Light.
You said it was MC Light.
That song changed hip hop.
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah. MC Light had a lot of hip hop changing songs though.
All right, that's MC Light.
I love her
MC Light
line when she
became
can
the
be
first
like,
female solo rapper ever nominated for a Grammy after Roughneck scored a Best Rap Single nod in 1993.
I just know she got on that Self-Destruction album and murdered everybody on that track.
Yeah, that's a dope. That's a dope.
She was like, "You're not guarding the door, so what you got a gun for?" Yo, she murdered everyone on that track.
Who
Funky
co-wrote
fresh
and
dressed to
co-produced?
impress, ready to party.
I
Money in
can't
my
hear.
pocket, dying to meet somebody. Oh my bad.
Who
You're talking
co-wrote
over the
and
question.
Scotch tape with a
co-produced
razor. Oh, sorry.
Rex and Effects 1992 hit Rump Shaker? Was it Missy Elliott, Pharrell
What was the
Williams,
question? I couldn't
Dr.
hear.
Dre, and Puff Daddy?
Can you start it? Can you like read
No,
the question?
everybody was talking, so that's you just gotta.
Flav, you're a terrible
Replicate.
host.
All right,
Sorry,
I
I was trying to talk a couple times, but I guess y'all had something more important to say. So, I mean, you should know it just by the second half of it. Rex and Effects 1992 hit Rump Shaker.
Yo, what's the question,
Based on who
man?
was said.
There's
Who
people listening
co-wrote
that are gonna
and-
listen to this.
Goddamn, this motherfucker's still talking, man. I'm trying to tell him. Who co-wrote and co-produced Rex and Effects 1992 hit Rump Shaker? Was it Missy Elliott, Pharrell Williams, Dr. Dre, or Puff Daddy?
I'm gonna
Puff
say
Daddy.
Pharrell.
I'm gonna say Missy Elliott.
I say Pharrell.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Pharrell. What do you say, Ish?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Pharrell.
Yes. Pharrell Williams collaborated with Guy's Teddy Riley on the track.
Yo, true story. I just learned that answer yesterday.
Really?
That's a fact. I was watching. Body brought it up.
Just shake you up.
Who hit the number 4 spot on the Billboard 200 with 1993's Get In Where You Fit In album? Was it E40, King T, Ice Cube, or Too Short?
Can you repeat that?
Who hit the number 4 spot on the Billboard 200 with 1993's Get In Where You Fit In album? E40, King T, Ice Cube, or Too Short?
Ice Cube.
Sounds like Too Short.
I'm gonna say King T.
Yeah, I'm going with Too Short.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Too Short too. Yes, it was Too Short. Too Short. The Too Short album featured production from QD3, the son of the legendary Quincy Jones.
This trivia is really hard. I was not old enough for this.
Which of the following groups has yet to work with Rick Rubin? Is it the Ghetto Boys, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Run DMC, or Beastie Boys?
Beastie Boys.
Bone Thugs and Harmony.
I think it's Bone Thugs and Harmony.
I'm gonna say Ghetto Boy.
Yeah, that's a hard one. I'm gonna go with Bone Thugs and Harmony also. Yep, that's the correct answer. The producer has never collaborated with Bone Thugs and Harmony.
That's like my second favorite band of all time behind Queen. Queen and then Bone Thugs.
This is a good one. What was Mobb Deep's original group name? Was it Crew, Cellar Dwellers, Poetical Prophets, or Prodigious Havoc?
C.
D.
I'm gonna go with D.
What are the choices again?
What
are the choices again?
Crew, Cellar Dwellers, Poetical Prophets, and Prodigious Havoc.
I'm going with C.
Yeah, it's definitely Poetical Prophets.
I got one right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that was me, KD.
I think everybody except me.
Katie, you got Poetical Prophets?
Nah, I chose the other one.
The other one.
Katie chose Prodigious Havoc.
Yeah, and so did
That's
I.
their names.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's their names, though.
I know, that's their names.
Okay, that was a trick. That's a little bit of a trick one. Which of the following rappers guested on the Beastie Boys' Ill Communications album? Was it Nas, Snoop Dogg, Chuck D, or Q-Tip?
Q-Tip.
I think it was Chuck D.
I'm gonna go with Q-Tip too.
Yeah, I'm going with Tip.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Q-Tip. Yes, the answer was Q-Tip. Who said Chuck D?
Me.
You? Okay.
Chuck D would have been my second choice. I was thinking.
I don't think Chuck D would have done a track with Beastie Boys.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
maybe not.
Nah.
Now that you say it, maybe not. You're right.
Yeah, and that's crazy because they was label mate.
Yeah, but Chuck D was real. After that Yo Bum Rush the Show album, he got real militant on everybody. And remember, it took a long time for the Beastie Boys to kind of get their props in the hip hop community from Black people, not from people who listen to hip hop, but from actual rappers in the community.
Yeah. Which is the only Gangstar album to reach #1 on the top R&B hip hop albums chart? Is it Moment of Truth, Hard to Earn, Daily Operation, or The Owners?
Moment of Truth.
I think it's Moment of Truth.
What'd you say, Cynthia?
C.
C? Daily Operation. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Moment of Truth. Yes, Moment of Truth it is. Oh, that's it. 10 out of 10. That was a much shorter one.
Yay, I got more than 0. I'm happy.
Yep, that was, the 90s.
Well,
we do 2000 trivia. That was really hard.
I was going to say, this scoreboard kind of like shows our ages.
Right.
Cynthia, you're the baby. I'm in the middle.
Can we do 90s trivia? I mean, thousands trivia?
She was like, let's do 90s. Now it's thousands.
Well, I was like so young towards the beginning of it. So it's
She's like, listen, let's just do some 2018 trivia and get it over with. Yeah, and let's do it more generalized and less specialized too.
All right, yeah, I got you.
Or at least, do like general movies or something,
I think this is pretty general.
Yeah, that was 90s hip hop. That was.
And what year did? Wait, how much? Hold on. This is set up weird.
You ugly. You ugly. Your mama said you ugly. You
Mama said knock you out.
L-Y. You don't need no alibi. You ugly. That's an 80s movie.
No, it's
Wildcat.
not.
It is from Wildcats.
Wildcat.
Are you sure?
Yeah. You ugly. You ugly. Your mama said that was the cheerleaders for the football team because the football team was straight ghetto.
Yeah, I
Your mama
remember.
said you ugly.
I gotta watch that. It's been a long time.
L-Y. You don't need. That was Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson's first movie together.
Oh.
Bodie Hawn was the coach.
Mm-hmm. Classic joint.
Yeah, it was classic. You ugly. You ugly. Your mama said you ugly. U-G-L-Y. You don't need no alibi. You ugly. Ugly is has to be in the name of this show.
Sure. Things get ugly.
Discussion gets ugly.
There you go.
It's Cynthia has a meltdown, comma, ugly, comma, trivia, comma.
Okay, this one's okay. The first one will seem a little stupid, and then it'll get okay. Okay. She keeps changing.
Apple.
Okay, what is the rarest M&M color?
Light brown.
Are there choices?
No.
I think it's light brown though.
Are you serious?
That's no choice. What do you got, Katie?
Yeah, I'm gonna say brown too, because it's not in the.
It's the light brown.
The rarest?
Yeah, the rarest color.
Out of all of the variations of M&M, or just the classic M&M?
What is the rarest M&M color?
Light brown.
Yeah, I think it's light brown.
I'm gonna
White.
say regular brown.
And
I'm
you
gonna
said
say
white.
white.
And Cynthia got it correct. It was brown.
Yeah.
I feel like this is racist.
What?
It's colorist at best.
No, if it were racist, the correct answer would be yellow.
Wow.
You
In
get
a
to know
in a website browser address bar, what does www stand for?
World Wide Web.
Yeah,
Woke. World Wide Web.
Wide Web.
Flav, these are not multiple choice.
No,
Oh,
but
okay.
it is woke wide web.
Oh, it's World Wide Web?
Yeah, woke.
No,
No,
it's World
It's
Wide
World
Web.
Wide Web.
World Wide Web.
World Wide Web. In what year was the first Air Jordan sneakers released?
Can we get our points? Oh.
Patience is a virtue.
85.
91.
No, I'm gonna say 85.
I'm saying 91.
I'm going to say 89.
For the Jordan 1s?
It's Jordan 1.
Wait, I thought you said the.
It may not be
Okay.
85, but it's definitely not 89. 89
Not
is
89?
no. I know it's not 89.
Flav, what's the answer?
It can't be 89.
Oh, okay, everyone's put in an answer.
Yeah.
It's not multiple choice.
The answer is 1984.
I was a year off.
Damn.
I should get a point just for being a year off.
That's not how it works, Ish. There are no partial points.
Oh, sorry. We got the trivia police up in here. Okay.
So
No partial points.
the sneaker's the same age as I am. Got it?
In a game of bingo, which number is represented by the phrase "two little ducks"?
22.
Number.
Number.
I'm gonna say 22.
I'm gonna say 11.
I'm gonna say 44.
No, you know what? I'm gonna go with 22 too.
I'm gonna go with 22 as well. I see your logic.
And the correct answer is 22.
Yeah.
Y'all can thank me later.
Thank you. I was the first
Well,
one.
I did say 22.
Yeah, but I was the first one to say.
According to Greek mythology, who was the first woman on Earth?
Gaia?
Oh my God, there's no multiple choice. Eve.
No.
Oh wait, Greek
No,
mythology.
that's the Bible.
The first woman on Earth? Hold on, I gotta think for a second.
Isn't it
Greek
Freya?
mythology.
It's gotta either be Gaia or Hera, but Gaia is Earth, right?
Right, Gaze Earth.
So Gaia and Kronos had everybody. So it would have to be Gaia. Wait a minute though.
The first woman.
So Gaia and Kronos had all the gods, all the titans, all the monsters.
I'm gonna say whatever Ish says.
And then Zeus had on Earth or
On Earth.
I don't know because it's like a trick question, right? Because if are we talking the gods too, or are we talking actually the first human woman? I don't know, man. I'm my best guess is Gaia.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'll go with whatever he says.
We,
Okay.
I have
All right.
whatever he said.
The correct answer was Pandora.
Oh, you mean a human woman?
Yeah.
Oh, well, didn't we open that box?
Right.
Pandora was the first human woman?
Yeah, she unleashed all the horrible stuff into the world.
But was her mother a god?
It never
Pandora
says.
was the child, right?
Yeah, but
It never says.
they never say. They never give any historical information on not historical mythological information on Pandora other than the story we have.
Yeah, but you know that she's a whatever. Okay.
Yeah, it's a weird question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I would even think Athena would predate her.
But isn't she a god?
Kind of. Like she is. But like
Do gods have genders?
They do.
Gods and goddesses?
They do.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, think about it. Athena came out of Zeus, though, right? She came out of his head.
I mean, we're all talking about like mythology, so.
Yeah, like she came out of his head. But Zeus liked to have sex with a lot of people.
Oh,
Women.
so what you're saying is this
Women.
is a player?
Yeah, he liked to sleep with. He had a whole bunch of illegitimate kids all over Earth.
How can you blame the guy?
Okay. Samuel Tilden, Grover Cleveland, Al Gore, and Hillary Clinton share what distinction among U.S. presidential candidates?
Can you repeat that?
Samuel Tilden, Grover Cleveland, Al Gore, and Hillary Clinton share what distinction among U.S. presidential candidates?
They're all white.
They won the popular vote, but they lost the electoral college.
Wouldn't that be George Bush too? Then?
No, George Bush won the electoral
He
college
won the electoral guy.
when Al Gore lost the popular vote, won the popular vote.
I thought that's what the question. I mean, that's what you were saying.
No, I'm saying like they won the popular vote, but they didn't win the whole election because of the electoral college.
They all were in
Oh, right,
Clinton.
right.
They all were in Bill Clinton's cabinet. I don't know.
I don't think Grover Cleveland was alive for that.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
I'm gonna say they're all white. I'm not wrong, right?
Right.
Yeah, they are white.
Okay.
They're
Well,
all
there we have it.
Democrats.
KD and Cynthia are correct. They're both
What,
white.
Was that seriously the answer?
No, of course
Oh. What's the
They're all
answer?
Democrat.
not. Yes. No, I don't know.
What's the?
They won the popular vote but lost the electoral college vote.
Oh, Emily got it right then. We should
Yay.
get half a point because I'm not like wrong.
No,
now
No,
now we
there's
get
no.
partial.
Now
points.
you were giving half
Now
points.
we get partial.
No, but
points.
I'm not wrong.
I love how
That
you
might not have been
stack
the answer
deck.
to that question, but I'm not wrong.
I love how you stack the deck.
But you are literally wrong.
Cynthia could take my partial point so she can have a whole point.
You don't have a partial point, Kelsey.
Well, I guess we're not getting
All right.
partial points, Cynthia.
All right.
Okay, next one. Which African country was formerly known as Abyssinia?
Is it Ethiopia?
Formerly known as what?
Abyssinia.
I don't know. The Congo? No fucking idea.
I'm gonna go with Liberia.
And the answer is Ethiopia.
Oh, good job, Emily.
Well, there's an Ethiopian restaurant around the corner from me that's called like Abyssinian something or other.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Tennis star Serena Williams won which major tournament while pregnant with her first child?
Wimbledon.
What
Or
was
US
that?
Open. Oh, fuck.
U.S. Open.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I trust you guys.
And Ish?
I'm going with I don't know this tennis stuff. I'm gonna go with Wimbledon.
Okay. The answer was the Australian Open.
Damn it.
So nobody got it. In other words,
Damn it. I honestly thought that first, but then
I don't even know.
She wouldn't have been in Australia pregnant.
How did I answer 2 questions? Well, she was like 2 weeks pregnant.
yeah, she
Oh,
probably
yeah.
didn't even know.
In which European city would you find Orly Airport?
Paris.
Find
US
what?
City?
Oh.
Orly Airport.
Can you spell that?
O-R-L-Y.
That sounds familiar.
It's Paris.
New York City?
In which European city?
Oh, European city. Switzerland? Sweden? Where is
City.
it?
City.
Oh, city, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say
I don't know.
London.
I was going to say Paris.
Leeds. I'm gonna say London. Orly.
Okay, so we've got Paris.
What is that city?
I'm gonna say Glasgow.
We've got Paris,
What is that city in
Glasgow,
Iceland? Is it Reykjavik? I'll go with that.
Paris, Glasgow, Reykjavik, and Paris. The answer is Paris.
Oh, nice. Good job.
How did I have 2? I don't recall answering 2 questions.
I don't recall, but Apparently you do.
Are you drawing points for this one?
Yeah, and I've been drawing points this whole time.
Okay. Which singer's real name is Stephanie Joanne Angelina Germanotta?
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga, yeah.
Gaga.
Oh, I know, Lady Gaga.
That is correct.
Yay.
That is Lady Gaga.
I had no clue.
How many more questions, Slade? Because I have to go to bed.
How many? I think this is out of a 250 stack.
Shut up.
I mean, we don't have to do the whole thing, obviously.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna tap out because I have to
Okay.
go to work tomorrow. So
All right.
it was nice jumping on the call with you guys. So last minute,
Yeah, no doubt.
had to vent.
Well,
Much enjoyed.
Good talk. Good talk.
All right. Bye, guys. Good night.
good night.
All right, sleep
Night.
well.
Good night.
Okay. The only known monotremes in the animal kingdom are the echidna and which other creature?
Question again?
The
Who the
only
hell knows
known
that?
the only known monotremes in the animal kingdom are the echidna and which other creature?
Seahorses.
Monotrains.
I don't know.
Only known monotrains in the animal kingdom
Yeah,
are the echidna
monotremes.
and the which other creature? So an echidna.
No doubt.
Porcupine. Armadillo. Hello?
Yeah. Are you the last
Oh.
one? Are you the
Yeah,
last one, I guess?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying armadillo.
Okay. The platypus.
Ooh.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think anyone got that.
I don't really know what a echidna is or echidna.
I don't either. I don't even
I
know
have
what a
no
platypus
clue.
is. I've seen one, but I don't know what it is.
Kingston, Zuma, and Apollo are the sons of which American female pop star?
Gwen Stefani.
Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill.
Okay.
I rock with Gwen Stefani.
Okay. Gwen Stefani, Lauryn Hill. Anything from? Oh, that's it. The answer was Gwen Stefani.
I remember reading her having a child named Kingston.
Fissures, vents, and plugs are all associated with which geological feature? Fissures, vents, and plugs.
Fissures, vents, and plugs.
Yeah. Are all associated with which geological feature?
Fault lines.
was gonna say earthquake.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a feature.
That's not okay.
A
No, it's
volcano
not a
makes the most
feature.
sense.
Yeah, I said volcanoes.
It definitely makes the most sense. I'm just gonna go with fault lines to just because.
And what are you going with, Katie?
I would say, what's the thing in Yellowstone?
Geysers.
Geysers.
Okay. The answer was volcanoes.
Yeah, volcano made the most sense.
Which author wrote the Winnie the Pooh books?
A. Milne.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You going to say one?
Yep.
No, there's no need to say anymore.
Yes, A. Milne. It just disappeared on me real quick. Has anybody heard the new Killer Priest album?
No, I haven't.
No.
It's pretty intense.
Is that a question?
Yes.
I was gonna say, is that a trivia question?
Yep. The answer was yes.
Are we building up to this next question or something?
No, my phone crapped out on me. I got to go back into. I got to find this again. Find this page again.
Please stand by for technical difficulties.
Yeah. You guys entertain each other.
Be careful. The longer it takes, this whiteboard is not going to be white anymore.
Uh-oh, she's not checking her privilege. Lucy, you got some splaining to do.
Okay. Which social media network was founded in 2004?
Facebook.
Napster. No, MySpace.
Anyone else? So
Yep.
far we said Facebook, MySpace, and what else?
Facebook.
Okay. All right, I'll go with MySpace. Nope, it was Facebook. Of course it was Facebook. 2004, Mark Zuckerberg launched the Facebook, which is known as Facebook today. All options were founded in this decade. Which artist sang "It's Getting Hot in Here" in the 2002 hit?
Nelly.
Nelly.
Yeah. That one actually had some choices. But yeah, Nelly's the right answer. From his second studio album, Nellyville. What was the highest grossing movie of that decade, which I think is from the 2000s? I mean, is it The Dark Knight? Is it Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince? Is it The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King? Or is it Avatar?
Avatar.
I think it's Avatar.
What are you going, KD?
KD.
Are you there? Are you
Avatar.
alive?
You said Avatar? All right. Yep, Avatar was correct. Released in the last year of the decade, but it managed to make the most money at the box office, grossing $2.7 billion worldwide. In which year was the first iPod released? Was it 2001, 2009, 2007, 2005, 2003, or 2000?
2001.
Yeah, 2001.
I'm gonna say 2005.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Let's see.
In fact, I'm gonna say 2007. That was an option, right? 2007.
Yeah, 2007.
Yeah, I'm going with 2007.
I'm gonna go 2005. Oh, the right answer was 2001.
Yeah.
But you said that too. Emily,
Yeah.
Yep. Emily said it too.
I should have hit that one. Which celebrity shaved her head during a now infamous breakdown in 2007? Was it
Britney
Demi
Spears.
Lovato, Avril Lavigne, Britney Spears, or Kelly Clarkson?
Britney Spears.
Spears.
Yeah, it was definitely Britney Spears. February 2007, the day after she entered and left the drug rehabilitation facility.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say Hannah Montana, but I remember Britney.
Yeah. For which disease did the World Health Organization issue a global alert in 2003?
SARS.
Was it
SARS.
H1N1, bird flu, mad cow disease, malaria, SARS, or Ebola?
SARS.
SARS.
Oh, wait a minute. Mad cow
It
disease
might have
was
been
rampant
Ebola.
around then too. I believe it was SARS.
I think it was SARS. Mad cow disease was before that, I think.
We got
Yeah,
a
it was
couple
SARS.
SARS.
I know we
Yeah,
had
a couple SARS and a Ebola.
I'm gonna say Ebola.
we had like a super epidemic every year for like 2000 through like 2006. We had like SARS, super flu, avian bird flu, H1N1,
All right,
bunch
we're
of
going to
different
go
stuff.
SARS, and SARS is correct. On the 12th of March 2003, the WHO issued a global alert for the SARS outbreak at the time. The myth of which creature was debunked in 2003? Was it the Loch Ness Monster, Kraken, Bigfoot, or unicorns?
I think it was the Loch
Monster.
Ness Monster.
Okay. July 27th, a BBC team used technology to find proof of the Loch Ness Monster's existence, but to no avail. This put an end to speculation of the mythical creature's presence in Scotland.
Well, that's because it had died a long time ago and deteriorated.
Yeah, he does look pretty old. Which animated film was Pixar's last release of the decade? Was it WALL-E, Ratatouille, Up, or Toy Story 3?
Which decade?
The Up one.
The
I don't know, probably like
2000.
the 2000s. Yeah.
It was that Up one.
I think it was Wally.
I think it was Toy Story 3.
I kind of thought it was Up to Toy Story 3 starting it too. Toy Story 3 might be the newer one. My first instinct was Up.
Go with your first.
That is correct. The film Up was released on May 29th, 2009.
Which one did you go with?
Up. That was my first instinct. Michael Jackson's death sent the world in a mourning. Which year did this unfortunate event occur?
2017.
2009.
6, 7, 8, 4, or 9?
2009.
2009. On June 25th, 2009, Michael Jackson died of acute propofol and benzodiazepine intoxication at his home in Los Angeles.
Wholly hooked on phonics.
Yeah, it's tough. There's big words in there.
Hooked on phonics didn't work for him.
Which country took home the FIFA World Cup in 2006? Was it Brazil, France, Germany, or Italy?
Brazil.
Brazil.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Brazil?
I guess.
It was actually Italy.
Oh,
Damn it. I was going to say Italy, and then I second guessed myself.
lay down.
They defeated France 5-3 in a penalty shootout in the finals. Which superhero was the TV show Smallville based on?
Superman.
Yeah,
Superman.
that's good, correct. Ran for 10 seasons from 2001 to 2011. In which American state did the 2002 Winter Olympics take place in?
Atlanta.
Is it Alaska,
No,
Minnesota, New York, or Utah?
Utah.
What was the choices again?
Alaska, Minnesota, New York, or Utah?
I want to say Minnesota or Alaska.
Oh, Alaska, maybe.
Really? I don't remember there being Olympics in Alaska.
Minnesota.
And Emily, you said Utah?
Yeah.
Because 2002 would have been the Winter Olympics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know why not. It could be Utah, but I would imagine with as much snow as Minnesota gets, I'm guessing Minnesota. I don't know, so I'm guessing Minnesota.
Okay. Go Utah. Yes. 2002 Winter Olympics was held from 8 to 24 February 2002 in and around Salt Lake City, Utah, United States.
That is right. Salt Lake City. It wasn't Salt Lake.
Why would they hold the Olympics in Utah?
They got some business and some money over there, probably.
Yeah.
They probably offer some buildings and some locations.
I just know Olympic towns do bring in money, but they're the worst towns.
Yeah.
Like I watched a documentary on the towns that are not the city itself, but like they make these little towns and establishments and facilities for
Yeah, they make like
people coming
Olympic
in.
villages.
And it's like the worst. Like it's just so much trash and pollution. But anyway, go on.
Who became the only African American woman to win the Oscar for Best Actress in a leading role?
Halle Berry.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Was it Lupita Nyong'o, Octavia Spencer, Jennifer Hudson, or Halle Berry?
I
Wait a
thought it
minute.
was Octavia Spencer.
Whoopi Goldberg won it. What was the question?
Who became the only African American woman to win the Oscar for Best Actress in a leading role?
Well, Halle Berry won for Monsters Ball, but Whoopi Goldberg won for Color Purple. But Halle Berry won for Monsters Ball.
Correct.
I want Halle Berry.
In 2001, Halle Berry won the Academy Award for Best Actress in a leading role for her performance as Letitia Musgrove in Monsters Ball. Wait, was maybe because Whoopi's wasn't a leading, but like
She was the star of Color Purple.
Maybe that was later.
No,
Like,
it was when I was a kid. It came out.
Yeah, Color
weird.
Purple came out before Monsters Ball.
No.
Maybe she didn't win. I swear she won.
Which
Maybe she
country
did.
sent a rocket into space to mark its first space center in 2008?
Russia? Oh, didn't exist.
SpaceX?
Wait, repeat that?
Which country sent a rocket into
Oh,
space
country.
to mark its first space center in 2008? Was it India,
So
Bahrain, Iran, or Egypt?
India.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with India.
India.
Go with India. I don't think so. Iran fired a rocket into space to mark the opening of its first space center on February 4th, 2008.
They don't even have any astronauts.
Thank you.
So how did this happen again?
It was unmanned. just a
No,
launch.
it doesn't. It doesn't even say. All right, last one. Which of these superhero films from the thousands was released first? Was it Catwoman, Daredevil, Fantastic Four, or Spider-Man 2?
I think Daredevil.
I want to say Spider-Man 2.
I'm gonna say Catwoman with Halle Berry.
Yeah, I feel like that one's definitely old. And then nobody said Fantastic Four. All right, I'm going Catwoman.
It's
The
probably
correct
Daredevil.
answer was Daredevil.
Yeah, I was just thinking it's probably
Daredevil was a
Daredevil.
2003 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics character of the same name, starring Ben Affleck.
Emily, you are the pop culture expert.
EMZ.
Yeah, there we go. And that wasn't even the 2010s one.
Let me see my score here. All right, so I won. I'm a winner.
We're all winners.
I have a participation trophy.
Ooh. Oh, it got real artsy since the last time I looked at it.
Uh-huh.
Dang, I almost want to save this.
Yeah. Print it out or something.
I'm totally gonna save this.
All right, folks. Well, it's been real. It's been another good one.
Uh,
We came, we saw.
we went, we conquered.
Mhm.
Most certainly.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Hold on.
Good
Hold on.
night.
Hold on.
What?
All right. Good night, everyone. It's been grand.
Oh.